Welcome to LoganRobo's channel, broadcasting live on twitch.tv/LoganRobo and on youtube.com/LoganRobo. Tonight's game is Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit. You know, on days like today, with everything that's going on in the world, I can't help but think to myself and wonder, what's Darian Crescend up to right now? No particular reason for that, just thought you should know. Thank you for tuning in to twitch.tv/LoganRobo and youtube.com/LoganRobo. Please enjoy the stream. And we are live! How is everybody doing? I see that Extemporaneous was here bright and early with a lurk and a random Transformers check. Scourge. Who? What?
Oka, Magpie flying in. 1 more month and we will have a beautiful subscription hatchling.
Oh, that's right. It's not just a baby with you, it's a hatchling. Ooh. And I love how TTS doesn't just, because the little bird face, it's got an O in it. So it's Oka. How you doing, Magpie? Thank you so much for re-upping the sub. I mean, technically, you're on an 8-month streak. The way I count it is that it's like you have 10 months total. So I think that the hatchling actually may have already hatched a whole subscription ago. But you know what? Maybe the gestation's going along. It's the opposite of it's not premature Magpie chick. It's a late one. Something like that. But thank you so much for re-upping the sub, Magpie. As I was saying, Extemporaneous had a random Transformers check of Scourge, who is bro, and why is bro better than Optimus Prime? Well, it depends on who you look at. In like the old cartoon, he was one of the Decepticons. Thundercracker, who died and got rebuilt by Unicron, to a guy named Scourge, who had a metal beard. But then other times it's the guys who look kind of like Optimus Prime, but they're bad guys, so it depends. Also, would you rather fly with the dragons or swim with the mermaids? Well, the problem is I'm afraid of heights and I suck at swimming. So neither are ideal for me, so I'll just go swim with the mermaids, because maybe some of the mermaids would be hot, and maybe one of them might like me, or something like that. I mean, certainly they'd probably be like better looking than the dragon. No offense to dragons out there, but I am not attracted to dragons in the way that traditionally you'd be attracted to a mermaid, I guess. But thank you, Sembranius, for the lurk. Beowulf says, hello, lonely man. How you doing, Beowulf? Oak says, hey, Longa. How you doing, Oak? Crazy says, hello. How you doing, Crazy? With the pa-pa-pa. Queen Katie, rated with a party 1. I don't think we have any of our mods here yet, so I'll go ahead and do a shout out for you, Queen Katie. Perfect timing. We are just barely starting here. So let's give you a shout out. Sorry I wasn't able to pop into your stream today. Today was kind of today was a day. But what were you guys playing today? Reverse 1999?
Hoffman rises from her seat. The surrounding audience look at her disapprovingly. What do you mean Hoffman can step on you? Although, you know what? Good point. That does sound appetizing.
Being stepped on sounds appetizing. Is that what we're saying in that clip? But thank you so much for the raid, Queen Katie. How was your stream today? Sorry, like I said, sorry that I couldn't be there today. Bill said Lonely Man was late. Yeah. There was Magpie with a re-up and a sub. Thank you again, Magpie. Eglin says, yippee! How you doing, Eglin? How are all of you? Extemporaneous, Beowulf, Oak, Crazy, Magpie, Eglin, Queen Katie. How are all of you? Let's go ahead and load up the game while we're getting into this, so we can trick any lurkers into thinking that we actually spend time playing instead of just yapping all the time. So we finally entered what I'm pretty sure Queen Katie said this is the final part of the case, the final sub chapter. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So we might be finishing this tonight. April 2nd, 3:11 p.m. Zodiac Hall, Fountain Room. Oh crap, the music's a lot sadder. It's a lot less peppy. I was gonna read some more chat, but it's like it's much more downbeat. Magpie says, yay, I have a hatchling. Oh, and Magpie, as we established a few streams back, you gotta name your hatchling now. Oak said, I was trying to plan out the measurements for my very not sexually attractive desk earlier. That's so rude. You used to call your desk sexy, and now you're saying it's not. Are you negging your desk, Oak? But regardless, I hope the measurements are nice. Maybe are they hourglass measurements? Are they like a 32, 24, 32? I don't know what hourglass measurements are. Eglin says, I've actually been feeling really good lately. I found myself a sleep help app, and I'm taking care of a bird in it by taking care of myself. Oh, who else was talking? Is that the app some of you guys were talking about? They get like a little pet bird or something like that. I think Magpie was talking about it. It's not actually Magpie though. Is that the same app that a lot of you guys use? Regardless, let's play a little bit more. Not more, we haven't played any. Let's play some of the game, and then we'll be back to the chat, and we'll talk, and it'll be fun times. And I'm just excited to see all of y'all. Ms. Bound, are you feeling a little calmer now? Oh, I should probably recap you on where we are. So last time we established that my theory, most recent one anyway, was correct, that it looks like the killer is Carmelo Gusto. I never know whether to say Gusto or Gusto. And that this whole thing in the present was a plot by Judy Bound in order to like draw him out and catch him as the real killer. And so that's what we're trying to do now. I don't know. He's still like passed out in the other room. This should be the easiest thing in the world, but there's got to be some other twist because we're just entering this whole chapter here. But we'll see where it goes. Also, the statute of limitations technically in this game for murder have expired. However, the statute of limitations for dummies book said that the counting of time pauses if you flee to another country, and Gusto, whatever, had just spent time in Zhangfa studying. So I think we're gonna be able to nail the ever-living crap out of that guy. Yes. Good. Then allow me to get to the point. Regardless of your intentions, you broke the law. Yes, I understand. I mean, sort of. What did she really do? She stole pesticides, had possession of illegal substances, and I mean, you could say that she planted a trap to murder somebody with poison gas, but I mean, she didn't force him to crack open that case. Like, he was, I think, breaking the law by doing that. So you could say that's justified self-defense. It's like if somebody, if you're worried about somebody breaking into your house, and you're like, well, I don't want to have a gun in the house, and so instead you just like have one of those, like a pit trap where they walk and it falls in their spikes, or the type of whimsical thing you might see in Home Alone, most of which were probably fatal. Let's be honest. If Kevin McAllister existed in real life, he would have killed the wet bandits. Nevertheless, I understand that you did what you did in order to prove Mr. Tangaroa's innocence. Therefore, if the real culprit is really is someone else, then we have a duty, to re-investigate the case. What? Why? I was going to say statute of limitation there. There is nothing to suggest that anything nefarious took place in the official IS-7 incident records. And right now, there is nothing to suggest that we should take Ms. Bound at her word either. So, our first order of business should be to arrest the culprit of the case before us, Ms. Bound herself. Objection! Official records cannot always be trusted, Judge Gambit. Plus, like, it's public knowledge now that Manfred von Karma was doing all kinds of shady BS. Especially since there are those prosecutors who would think nothing of twisting the facts. Are you suggesting that the committee at the time overlooked just such a prosecution? Yeah! Manfred von Karma. I should read some chat. Everybody in this game seems to have such a short memory, which is weird, considering how many things always happened 8 years ago, 18 years ago, 23 years ago. Oh, I see Valtube is over on YouTube saying, I'm early, let's go. How you doing, Valtube? Let's see, there's where the raid happened in Twitch from Queen Katie. Oak says, Katie. Queen Katie said, watch out. Queen of the raids and her bats are flying into your kingdom. Enjoy the raid. Queen Katie, I'm sure you saw on Discord, Extemporaneous said that today is Bat Appreciation Day. Crazy says, I recently got into Danganronpa. Oh, beat the second game about a week ago. Awesome, Crazy. The second game is my favorite game. Has my favorite characters in the series, Gundam Tanaka and Chiaki Nanami. I always feel weird mentioning the two of them together because I worry people think I like ship them together. But no. Gundam is for Sonia. Never mind, that was her last name, I think. Kim says, Streamly check-in. Have fun stream, y'all. Thank you so much for checking in, Kim. I hope you have a great day. You're probably going to bed because the middle of the night where you are. I hope you sleep well. Have a good early wee hours of the morning. Oak said, don't worry, Bayo. Our lonely man is always late. I feel like if I was on time, you guys would freak out more and like might not show up to the stream if that happened. Quickgator says, I had a fun time. I finished the artificial somnambulism keyboard slam. Come on, somnambulism, right? Everybody knows that word, right? It's for sleepwalking, right? Artificial somnambulism. So now, next week, I'm coming back to the main story. Quote, we might be finishing this tonight. That depends on the mind chest, Logan. That's true, but I mean, it's timed. So it's not like I can really drag that out too much, but I'll probably fail at it. Oh, Rast is here. Hang on, everybody. Rast says, hey, sorry if the stream is still going. When I get home, I will hop on. I'm at Montana's and my parents at the moment. Okay, so when Rast gets here, I don't know if you guys saw on Discord, today is Rast's birthday. So if Rast gets back, then we'll have to make sure to sing happy birthday to Rast. Oak said, new Logan name pun, Leighton Dostrom? Oh, late to the stream. Leighton Dostrom. There we late to the stream. And Magpie says, oh, it's Finch. And Eglin says, Finch. Okay, so we all talking about the same little bird taking care of app so it helps you sleep? Oh crap, there's a lot of stuff going on YouTube. Dermo says, hi Logan, how you doing, Dermo? Val2 says I'm doing fine. I feel like Apollo saying that. You're Val2, but you're fine. Toby is there saying, hi Logan, I'm asleep as usual. Oh, you are doing the very thing Queen Katie was talking about. You're somnambulizing in the chat. And then Crystal says, if Logan is on time, then it's not Logan, it's No Gals. And good evening, everyone. If you're asleep, how are you typing? And Toby with a little shrugging emote. Let's play some more of the game. I'm so happy to see you guys. I know I asked everybody at the beginning, but more people have gotten here. How is everybody? I hope y'all's week is going well. Don't forget, tomorrow's stream is canceled. I have a work-related thing. So no metaphor stream tomorrow. I'll remind y'all periodically throughout the day. Are you suggesting that the committee at the time overlooked such a prosecutor? That's for you and your people to figure out. However, it is a fact that the autopsy report was faked. Seeing as Mr. Frost's body was only found just now. Okay, that's a great point. He's got you there, Gaval. Aw, yeah, you suck. There really is something of Mr. Von Karma in you, Mr. Edgeworth. That's not a compliment. You know what he did to my father, right? How so, exactly? By continually defying the will of the committee and bending the truth to fit your needs, that's how. Wait, so Von Karma defied the will of the committee? Perhaps it is time you understand how the committee sees this case. Oh, wow, okay, cross-examination. It's not going to be mind chess, right? The committee's view. The committee is willing to accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified Mr. Frost's autopsy report. Even still, Mr. Von Karma only managed to have Mr. Tangaroa convicted as an accomplice. I personally have come to believe that the real culprit behind the IS-7 incident is Ms. Bound. I mean, that is fair. I thought that earlier. Her plan to poison and kill Mr. Gusto today was her attempt to frame him for Mr. Frost's murder. Except, it was because he ripped open the case after seeing the body. If he wasn't guilty, he wouldn't do that. And this is how the committee sees things, is it? It is. As always, I act solely in service of law and order. Except you also got this weird obsessive thing going on with Eustace Winter. Is she his secret mom? Is she Eustace Winter's Lamoire? I need to know why she's so obsessed. Is Lamoire, or excuse me, not Lamoire, now I'm talking about her. Is Eustace Winter, is he like a Nepo baby? And yes, Queen Katie, Nepo baby. Third stream in a row we've had to say that word. And his dad or something like that is a big contributor, a financial contributor to the committee. And so she has to help him become good at his job. It sounds to me like all she's doing is acting in service of the committee in covering up the truth. And if I can't change her mind, there will be no saving Mr. Tangaroa or Ms. Bound. Rebuttal. The committee's view. You guys know the drill. We always got to save, then we'll press every statement, and then we'll figure out what evidence we're presenting. But I should read a little bit more of the chat first. Queen Katie says, I will say though, I technically still have one final name fact for this case. Ooh, and it's a matter of when, this stream or next stream. So it's for this case though, I'm guessing it's gonna be the name of one of the kids of either Artie Frost or Carmelo Gusto. I don't know which one of them though. One of their kids will be important because like, we've met everybody else, right? Eglin says, I love my bird so much. I've been brushing my teeth regularly and eating meals and doing all the things. And does that like help the bird? I also politely, in parentheses, bullied my friends into getting the app, and I hope I can start a goal together or something for fun. So what exactly is it? Just like the bird encourages you to do overall general wellness stuff, like eat all your meals, sleep well, brush your teeth, bathe, stuff like that. Magpie says, what should I name my hatchling? Maybe I should name the hatchling after shiny things. What do y'all think? I'm afraid to let chat vote. I fear they'll pick terrible names. You could also name the hatchling after Jonathan Crane, since you're a big Scarecrow fan. I know that. Let me read one more comment here. Queen Katie said, by the way, after the mind chess eventually, would you like to know how many testimonies we have left? Let's hold off, and like if we get past the 2-hour mark and I'm like, my gosh, the end is not in sight, then I may at that point ask. But I'll hold off for right now, if that's okay. And over on YouTube, let's see. Valtube says, I'm Valtube, and I'm fine. Crystal says, update the autopsy report. Updated autopsy report. Dermo says, with the current evidence, she was bound to be accused. I'll leave. No, don't leave. I love puns, Dermo. Valtube says, I hated Verity so much during cases 2 and 3. I just don't get yet what her motivation is. In the last case, I just assumed that the committee is corrupt and they were like, that Zhang Fa was pressuring them to help cover up the fact that the assassination attempt was fake. But in this case, although Gusto, whatever, I'm gonna start saying Gusto. I think that sounds better than Gusto. He went to Zhang Fa, so maybe he's involved in the whole thing? I don't know. Opinion, how you doing? Says, since I had to leave early last stream, how'd you feel about the full story of Judy's plan? I mean, it's about what I assumed up to that point, so I feel really good that I was right. It is very, sad, though, because she is doing everything she can to try and get Tangaroa out of prison. And I'm glad that Edgeworth is sympathetic to her, because he wants to get to the truth, but he also, in these spin-off games, shows a lot of humanity. He does in the Ace Attorney games too. I even love the little things where it's like you find out that Edgeworth went to go see one of Trucy's magic shows with Phoenix and stuff like that. So yes. Let's play some more, and then I'll read some more in the chat in a moment. The committee is willing to accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified Mr. Frost's autopsy report. Hold it! If you accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified the report, then why won't you re-investigate the case? Because the goddess of justice is never wrong. Has there never been a successful appeal in Japanifornia? Her verdict remains true, despite... why'd you interrupt me? I didn't even see the rest. Well, what was she saying? Her verdict remains true, despite Mr. Von Karma's manipulations. Despite blatant evidence tampering? You sure your precious goddess is into that? Seriously, is she into that? Is that what the ladies are into? I will tamper evidence if the ladies are into it. Almost makes you think the committee might have other reasons for not wanting this looked into again. Further investigation is simply unnecessary, since the goddess of justice has already spoken. Is that right? This is why you don't base your legal system strictly on, divine stuff like that. And I say that as like I said, a religious person. I don't think that it should dictate law. Even still, Mr. Von Karma only managed to have Mr. Tangaroa convicted as an accomplice.
Hold it!
I believe it was a confession that sealed Mr. Tangaroa's fate in the end. A confession secured by Mr. Von Karma, which would surely cast doubt on the final verdict itself. Samson Tangaroa confessed to the initial investigating officer, one detective Inside Man. Are we ever gonna get to see him? It's odd that they are giving him a name and a full name pun unless we get to see him. Is it gonna turn out that Gusto is really Inside Man, or or the Gusto's kid, or I don't know. The official records state that it was his interrogations that led to the conviction. Therefore, all I can say to you is the goddess of justice has already spoken. Unbelievable! She won't budge at all! Are these committee guys really that big of a deal? In many ways, they are a prosecutor's worst nightmare. So kind of like how the police are to a great thief, huh? Funny how you don't seem to have a problem working with the police when it suits you, though. That's good, though. I love her relationship with Gumshoe. I'm going to read some more in the chat, though, because I know I'm already getting behind. Let's see. There's where Crystal popped in doing some gambling. Queekity says, yes, bat day. Crazy says Chiaki and Kyoko are my favorite. Well, I mean, that's still good taste as well. I do have a Chiaki Nendoroid and all that. Oh, Oak with redeeming a poll. So I'll get this off early in stream. Tournament style, favorite name pun for chat. But you can't vote for yourself. Always right. That's always right, Bayo. Lesbian Nora, who by the way isn't here right now because I think she's seen the Miku Uiu movie. One Piece Sufan, One Piece fan. Wendy, Lonely Man, Logan, and Bonnie, Kursaver, Bonkers, Haver, Crystal. Okay, I think that I don't know if Crystal's making the poll right now, so I'll go ahead and make this poll for you. Let's see. Paid poll. Favorite AA style name pun for chat. And the options were Always Right, Leah the B on Juan Sufan. Hope I'm spelling all these things right. Lo Lehman and Bonnie Kursaver. And yeah, we're gonna allow plenty of additional votes. So go ahead and cast your votes. 3-minute poll starting now. I'll read a couple more comments though, because that took a while to type. Crazy says, I put both of them on my Tomodachi Life Island. Aw. Quiggy says, what? No Bat Oak? It's Bat Day. Oak said, not including Vero right now because last pun was why miss you well, we miss you puzzles for we miss you puzzles. That was when Vero was gone. Oak said, Queen Katie, I want to do yours, but my pun for you is low-key terrible. I don't want to remake it. Eglin said, Logan! You read the original message wrong. Self-help app. Oh, what did I say? Did I say sleep help app? I'm sorry. Self-help app. Okay. That makes more sense. And see over on YouTube. Let's see. Dermo says, Gavel seems to think she is the voice of justice. She has an actual god complex. She does. I mean, I feel like you see this a lot in anime. Like, I mean, this obviously is a video game, but it's an anime-styled video game where, like, a character will just be obsessed with one thing. It's like, speaking earlier of Danganronpa 2, it's like Nagito, you know, they're like this worship of hope as just a thing. Valtube says, I want to have a pun name too. What would you request for your pun name, Valtube? Okay, let's play a little bit more here. I personally have come to believe that the real culprit behind the IS-7 incident is Ms. Bound.
Hold it!
Are you suggesting that Mr. Tangaroa and Ms. Bound killed Mr. Frost together? Why not? You could even imagine they split their roles as thus. Mr. Tangaroa could have been the one to commit the act itself, while Ms. Bound was to remove the body. What? The thought that we could ever kill Mr. Frost? I mean, it doesn't make sense, though, because she was obsessed with Mr. Frost. Although I guess some people are obsessed with celebrities like are yandere for them. But also, like, she has been upset that Tangaroa has been in prison. I don't know. You stole his corpse and hid it for 18 years. Oh, accidentally! Who here has never accidentally come into possession of an 18-year-old frozen dead guy? I mean, it happens all the time. Is it really so surprising that you might be considered a suspect? Please stop interrupting me. Please, why are you all so rude? Just because I'm the bad guy? I thought someone here maybe would like me. Ms. Bound has freely confessed to all of her crimes. Now is not the time to speculate about what else she might have done in the past. Very well. Then let us pass judgment on what we know she did in the present. Plus, what's the statute of limitation for stealing corpses? Her plan to poison and kill Mr. Gusto today was her attempt to frame him for Mr. Frost's murder.
Hold it!
Hold it! All right, this is the last one we're pressing. If this doesn't add anything, we're gonna have to figure out what to present evidence to. Why would Ms. Bound have chosen to frame Mr. Gusto for the murder? No doubt because he suspected her of being the real culprit. But she didn't know that he was even coming today, right? She was trying to lure the culprit out, but there's no guarantee that he'd be there. Oh, the poll is done, and always right. Won with 55% of the vote, Crystal contributing 20 channel points. So there you go. Beowulf is always right, and Beowulf is a winner. Let's get through this last little pressing, then I'll read some more in the chat. Let me also have some water. I need a sip or two. I'm getting thirsty. No doubt because he suspected her of being the real culprit. He may have entered what he thought was the Winter Wing simply to see if the Gemini statue was genuine. Little did he know that he would be greeted by a trap designed to silence him. A trap that nearly worked. Objection! Do you have any evidence to support that line of reason? Well, yeah, why don't we do this more often? Everybody always like, what evidence do you have? We should ask this of other people more often. Unfortunately, Mr. Gusto remains in critical condition. It will be difficult to prove anything until he regains consciousness. In other words, there is little we can do for now. On the contrary, there is plenty we can do. We can do autopsies. Don't you? I love autopsy. And then after we do the autopsy, we can do another one and update the autopsy report. I love updating autopsy reports. You still have not grasped the situation, have you? Then allow me to spell it out for you. Wait. There are more statements. These statements were not here before. Okay, so we did expand this. So it's going to be one of the next two statements, because we got two more here, will be what we present evidence to. We have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas attack. Okay, so we might be able to present evidence for this if we have anything that shows that we still have a question about something. Hold it. Oh, and I should read some more in the chat, though. I got distracted. To be fair, I'm getting distracted by the game, which I think is kind of the point of the game in these things. Queen Katie says, aw, facts, understandable. Anyway, I'm hungry. Need wafers. Actually, if you got some extra, I didn't have much of a dinner tonight. I could really use something to snack on. Eglin says, for sleep, I go to Pokemon Sleep. Oak said, there's only 5 slots. Crazy says, I really need to get back into Metaphor. Danganronpa distracted me. I mean, both are good games, very different games. I am very curious to see about that 100-line Academy game by the maker of Danganronpa. Quiggity said, captions got Nepo correct, yay! Oak said, okay, I'm gonna remake Vero and Katie's name pun. Oh, we could also get one for Valtube. Did Valtube come up with one? See over on YouTube, Toby says, to be or not to be? That is the question. That has been my name this entire time. I think you told me that like one of the first times it came in that I didn't even recognize the first one, like, Toby, I'm not Toby, or something like that. And then you told me, and I loved it. It's great. Dermo says, I will never escape Hamlet. It's been years since I had to study it, and it's everywhere. Music, books, games, and now usernames. It turns out, apparently, it was very culturally influential. I mean, Lion King is basically Hamlet. Strange Brew is technically Hamlet. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen that. I like Macbeth, though. That's a fun one. Crystal says, Twitch is kind of buffering. No, please, Twitch, don't do that. Guys, let me know if the buffering gets bad. Let's play some more. Ooh, the evidence you need. In the matter of the IS-7 incident, we have a body, a murder weapon, and 2 suspects. As for the poison gas attack, we have the sources of the 2 chemicals and Ms. Bound's confession. As for you, Mr. Edgeworth, we also have enough evidence to see that you yourself will have to answer to the committee in a formal hearing. Like, what crime has Edgeworth committed? Asking questions? Wow, that doesn't sound good! Don't worry, Miles Areno. If nothing else, you're always more than welcome at Edgeworth & Co. Oh, Your Honor, I'd greatly appreciate it if we could stay focused on the matter at hand. Of course. Now, where was I? We have therefore determined that there is no need to investigate either case any further. So it's probably going to be the previous statement that we'll have to present some evidence to, again, showing that we still have some unanswered questions. Let's first of all press this, see what else happens, and we'll figure out what evidence that could possibly be. You really mean to assert that there are no loose ends left to investigate? None at all? All of the evidence has been examined at length, and there is nothing more to be learned from them. Therefore, I see no need to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant. Objection! This is not a trial! Your Honor! I'm certain there's something that still needs to be examined. The hammer is about to fall, Mr. Edgeworth. Only hard evidence can stop it now. Present what you think requires further deliberation now. Assuming there really is anything left, that is. This isn't over yet, not by a long shot. There's still one thing we don't have an answer to, and it's up to me to point it out to Judge Gavel. Okay, so that's obviously what it is. Let's go to that statement. It's the second to last one, I believe, this one here. Let's save, so we can save scum if we need to. And let's read a couple more comments and figure out what evidence we're going to present. Let's see. Quickgator said, salute, noted Logan. Magpie says, basically, Finch gets you to name a little Finch hatchling and take care of it. And Little Bird goes on little adventures. Oh, this sounds adorable. After you've done enough self-care activities. Now, here's the thing. Do you actually have to do it, or can you just lie and say like, oh yeah. Yeah, I totally washed my face this morning. Yeah, oh yeah, Bird. Yeah, I put on deodorant. Oh yeah, Bird, this is fine. And you teach and guide it over time. It kind of generally makes you want to take care of yourself in the process. I kind of like that because I remember reading this thing. It was like some psychology thing that was talking about how that most people, if you have a pet, you are more likely to take better care of your pet than you are of yourself. Not everybody. Some people are neglectful, but it was specifically talking about like if you are sick and the doctor gives you instructions versus if your pet is sick and the vet gives you instructions, most people are more likely to follow the vet's instructions for the pet more carefully. And maybe it's just because you feel like, well, if I screw up myself, then oh well, it's my own fault. But if you're responsible for somebody else, so I like that. There's like some psychological stuff behind there. Magpie says, oh, my little subscription hatchling can be named Jonathan. That's cute. There we go. Quickgator says, oh, I think I've heard of that. I was thinking of checking it out sometime. Magpie says, I highly recommend. Finch is lovely. Magpie says, also, crucially, it doesn't tend to make you feel bad for missing days. You get bonuses for keeping a streak, but it never acts like you've abandoned it. Okay, good, because that does frustrate me with some stuff. And Oak says, say SC cars, say C cars sphere. Oh, that's good. Is this anything? I think that's good. I like it. And let me read one more comment, then we'll get back in the game. Quickgator says, that's so much better than the one I used to use, which to be fair, the one I had was more of an RPG game. Oh, and I should also check out over on YouTube. Oh, but hang on. Looks like Crystal made another name pun poll. Say Seekers, D.L. Fat Fabanfin, Joe Pucrator, Rendum Torransuformer, Suli Patrie. Yes, those are the names. Let's see. Crystal says, oof, stop buffering now, said Toby on a tub. Hey, Toby with an emote. Crystal said the Twitch is back. Dermo says, about to get the extending gavel, I guess, in case you need to render a verdict from across the room. Yeah, like, that is a good question. Why it's a telescopic gavel like that? It seems to be used as a weapon. And as we learned early on from Franziska von Karma, that weapons are totally allowed in court. That is a thing. Oh, and a pin message to explain these puns. Say Seekars is say Seekers for Vero. The next one is Dilf Bat fan, Katie, Random Transformer Extemp. Jorp Creator. Oh, yeah, there we go. And Sleepy Tree Oak. I'm actually going to vote for Jorp Creator because I still love that little typo turned into an inside joke. But let me have a sip of water, and then we'll play some more of the game. I'm getting too easily distracted by chat, but that's my favorite part of these streams. Okay, so she says that we have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas attack. So we just need to find one piece of evidence that is not yet explained. Prosecutor's badge, IS-7 incident case file. Was there anything in here that was not figured out? Statute of limitations expired 3 years ago on December 24th. Rock Salt Lamp, Von Karma, Gregory Edgeworth. Organizer confectionery contest victim's body was found inside one of his creations, leading to his arrest. While in detention, Tango discovered that he had a taste disorder, which was subsequently cured via medication. I mean, there was a whole thing about how one of the strings of the harp was salty. Convicted as an accomplice based on his confession. Also known as Paul Halik, under which name he was a renowned sculptor in France. Contestant in the confectionery contest. Body was discovered in Tangero's room. Cause of death was blood loss following blow to the head. No detailed autopsy report due to the body going missing. There we go. Oh, hang on. Oh, the poll end is tie between Say Seekers and Random Torrantiforma, with Oak contributing 40 channel points. Okay, so it might be the lack of an autopsy report, but she was disregarding that earlier as well. Gallery pamphlet, a pamphlet received upon entry to the gallery, shows that the Wings order of seasons are out of order for some reason. Okay. Thank you, Toilet Duck. I did save, but I'm a good trained Pavlovian dog, so I will save again. Save. Oh, and a pin message from Bumbo says, is the internet doing okay? Is it lagging that bad on Twitch? Buffering, lagging, skipping, whatever the proper terminology is. But Bumbo, how you doing? On the plus side, YouTube says I still have an excellent connection over there at the very least. Okay, so once again, figure out what to present here. Winterwing photos, statues matching those made by the victim 18 years ago. And, okay, no. The blowtorch are signs it was used just before the police arrived, possibly to heat something. We already know what that deal was. Wait, can we examine that? No, okay. Luminous cloth, gifted to Bound by Scone, lost 18 years ago, only to be rediscovered floating in the fountain. Was there anything that we could have clicked on here that would give us more info on this? This dark shade of blue. Oh, yeah, we saw this before, being around such a calming color from time to time. Just might do me some good. It's also just the right color for sneaking around in the dead of night, but I need something a lot brighter if I want to make a big splashy entrance. You can do both with this cloth through the power of buttons, correct? Oh yeah, in that case, I'll take 5. Yeah, didn't we see? Oh, I guess maybe someone told me that he said that, because that sounded very familiar. And okay, nothing really new there. Pisces statue sketch by Larry depicting Pisces statue exactly as he saw it. We already figured out why it was bleeding. It was just the chemicals, right? Poison gas ingredients. Gas was produced with bright red ubiquium and pure white asphyxian were mixed together. Oh wait, we can, oh no. Ultimate cookbook, book containing formulas for creating cure for taste. Oh, we never figured out the frame finger marks. I mean, we could always just chalk it up, say it was just probably somebody wearing a glove. But that is a possibility. Salt lamp, photograph of the murder weapon from the IS-7 incident. It's a salt lamp stained with Mr. Frost's blood. Okay. Family photo, a photo of Frost, Gusto, and their sons. Gusto's son visited his family daily up through the semi-final. Lift cart used by Frost transport ice 18 years ago. The top of the platform is wet. Designed by Paul Halik, one of Judy Bound's prized possessions. Larry's sketches depicting exactly what Larry saw. Chocolates handmade by Bound, slightly melted after being kept in her pocket. Gemini case analysis results. The results of the analysis conducted on the melted contents of the Gemini case. Salt, sugar, blood, dun. Sugar composition matches that of sugar found in the pale blue liquid Artie Frost room 18 years ago. Sugar detected in the fountain also seems to be a match. And statute of limitations book. Okay, so the only thing it really could be is the frame fingerprints, right? I think. So let's try it.
Objection.
Crap, the music's still playing. That was not it. Would you care to revise your testimony at all, Judge Cavell? No, why? Do you believe there is something wrong with it? No, nothing seems out of place. Then perhaps you could refrain from insinuating otherwise. Well, that blew up in my face. Okay, let's reload then. What else are we missing? Oh, and there's a new paid poll that's got to be for the other names. Random Transformers, Say Seekers, always right. So it's the finals there. Okay, so once again, this has got to be what we present evidence to, because they hinted that we got to show evidence of something that is still unanswered. We have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas attack. What? Was there something in here? I mean, the fact that the no detailed autopsy report due to the body going missing, but we already talked to her about that and she just dismissed that. Let's try it.
Objection.
No! Crap. I gotta think about this. I really gotta think about this. I'm gonna check some chat while I think about this because I am being dumb. I am not good at things. Let's see. Quicket said, so if skipped, I lost HP. Magpie says, ooh, I can never handle that. I'd skip one day and then never go back. See, same here, Magpie. I concur. There's Bumbo saying, yo. Oak said, remember everyone, you can't vote for yourself. Queen Gator said, don't worry, I voted for Bayo because Bayo is cool. Bayo says, heck yeah. Oak says, I voted Bayo because it sounds realistic as a name. That was my vote as well. Oak said, it's more subtle than Spirited Justice names. Bumbo says, Buffer, I'm sorry. Oak says, Dialphabat Fan Fin is good enough. Queen Gator says, I'll take it. Heart. Bumbo said, which one? A dead guy who's 18 or a guy who has been dead for 18 years? One of my answers to that is yes. I was saying a guy who's been dead for 18 years. So is that the one the answer is yes? And Magpie said, I'm just reminded of, why didn't you explain X? I was about to, but then you screamed, hold it, and cut me off. And Crazy says, I didn't know Chiaki had an Nendoroid. I went to go buy it. You don't know, it's one, I own 3 Nendoroids. One of them is Chiaki from Danganronpa 2. One of them is Natsuki from Doki Doki Literature Club, and the other one is so sad. We haven't really talked about this because I feel like I might be the only one who's like really a fan. But did you guys see that yesterday? Oh, not yesterday. Day before yesterday. Well, it was the last time we streamed. In fact, it was the middle of the stream. Gauragura announced that she's graduating from VTubing with HoloLive, and I'm very sad because she's like my favorite streamer. And and the poll is done, and Always Right has won with 71% of the vote. So yeah, that's like sad, but I still have my Nendoroid of her at the very least. But she's like, I don't know if you guys know this. I mentioned on Discord a couple of times, but she really was a big inspiration to me for like trying to do streaming for realsies. I went from being like a guy who just like played Among Us with friends on Twitch during lockdown to like thinking, hey, I should actually try and do this. And I'm not like, wildly successful or anything like that, but I've been able to stick with it, and it's really because of her. Okay, we have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas attack. Okay, we tried that already. Gallery pamphlet, no. Winterwing photo. The used blowtorch. Luminous cloth. I mean, it's because that was wrapped around the body, so there's no question about that. The Pisces statue sketch, is there anything in here that is unanswered? Because the ladder was obviously to climb up there and use a blowtorch to get in. So, I mean, all that makes sense. I feel like that's all answered. The gas was produced when bright red... I mean, ubiquium is ubiquitous, so she could have gotten that for anywhere, and we know where she got the asphyxian. Ultimate Cookbook, book containing formulas for creating cure for taste disorders and other chemical and pharmaceutical items. We tried that. Salt lamp, photograph of the murder weapon from the IS-7 incident. It's a salt lamp stained with Mr. Frost's blood. Oh, is it gonna be something like, wasn't there a thing that there was like an extra salt lamp somewhere? Where was there an extra salt lamp? So I'm trying to remember where that was. Was that, well, and there's this one here. Let's try it. We may have to brute force this.
Objection!
Nope, that was wrong. Okay. We can figure this out. I'm actually glad that was not what it was, because I'd hate it if I got it correct on accident. Oh my gosh. I'm really stumped here. I may need a hint soon. Let me try at least one more time. If the next attempt is wrong, I'm probably going to call a potato and ask for a... Huh? Oh, I loaded the wrong one. That was weird. We suddenly went back in time. Wait, so where are we? We are... This one. Yes. Sorry about that. Oh, pin message written by Queen Gated, pinned by Crystal, said, do yell potato if needed. I might. I want to try once more, and then I may need a hint. So, it's obviously not the Prosecutor's badge, although I'd love it if it was. We tried that, and we tried that. I mean, gallery pamphlet, I guess we could ask, like, why are the wings out of order or whatever? That really doesn't matter that much. Blowtorch, we already know what that was used for. There was one in every room, and Gusto used it in order to get into the case. Luminous cloth? You could say lost 18 years ago, but it was wrapped around Artie Frost's body, right? We'll try that maybe next if we can't think of anything else. Pisces statue. I feel like all that's explained. I tried that, that wasn't it. A photograph of the murder weapon from the IS-7 incident. It's a salt lamp stained with Frost's blood. I mean, it could be that, but that would really only be relevant if we could get an autopsy report to show that it was poisoning or something. A photo of Frost, Gusto, and their sons. Gusto's son visited his father daily up through the semifinal. I mean, that's obviously related somehow, but I don't feel like that's any big lingering question about the case. Lift cart used by Frost Transport Ice 18 years ago. The top of the platform is wet. Teapot designed by Paul Halik, one of Judy Bound's prized possessions. Larry's sketches depicting exactly what Larry saw. I guess we could ask, why does Cavell have sparkles around here? No, because we already figured out that that's her fishing out the luminous cloth, and that's her transporting the ice case. Chocolate slightly melted after being kept in her pocket. Gemini case analysis results. Matches that of sugar found in the pale blue liquid Artie Frost room 18 years ago. Detective found analysis seems to be a match. I mean, we could say that did we figure out whose blood it was? I mean, conventional wisdom would say Artie Frost's blood. But again, Gusto's whole thing is that he's accidentally hurting himself all the time. One of the first things he said to us was that he wears a red shirt because he's always accidentally bleeding. So let's try this. Let's say there's blood that we didn't check whose blood it was, and that we should look into that. Let's try that.
Objection!
Oh yeah! I think we got it! I'm afraid there is still one question concerning the IS-7 incident that remains unanswered, Your Honor. Would you mind taking a look at this? What is it? Their test results carried out on the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case in the winter wing. As you can see, traces of blood. Dun, dun, dun. Shut up, Gumshoe! My job is on the line and by extension yours! I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I shouldn't have exploded at you. I'm sorry as well. I'm under a lot of pressure right now. I'm sorry. No, don't cry. Judge Cavell, look what you made me do. I'm sorry. I shouldn't blame you either. I'm going to anger management courses. I'm just moving on. It was detected. The question is whose? Let me read some more in the chat, because there's a Tomcat. Oh, and there's a pin message written by Queen Katie, pinned by Vero, said the hint was gonna be, share, thank you, Beowulf, for the idea, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. Oh, I like that. I like that. Of course, what that really alludes to is a wedding, which is something I really don't have any experience with. Oh, and another poll is up here on Twitch. What's your favorite Logan's sing-song? Save. I caught up with chat for the first time of the night. Logan noises in general. Whoop-a-ba! Less than three. Ba-da-ba-da. Oh, how do I do it after jokes? Ba-ba-da-ba-da. No, I do a joke. Ba-ba-ba. No, crap, how do I do that? I am going to say I caught up with chat for the first time of the night, maybe. No, I will abstain from voting because it's about me. Let's read some more in the chat, though. We finally got through that. Took longer than I expected. Magpie said, already read that. Crystal says, was away when the poll's created, laughing. It's all good. I got you, because you got me. Bubble says, is the internet doing okay? Oh dear, no. Either that or my internet is garb. Magpie, it's clothes? It's clothing? Magpie says, oof, it's having problems here too. Crystal said, definitely buffering. Let me know if it gets better, you guys. Queen Katie said, I think it's on Twitch side maybe, or it's an internet curse, because another streamer I know is going offline and then online, then offline. I do wonder if it's maybe a Twitch thing, although we were going to be paying attention to what days of the week it happens. The last time it happened, I think it was a Friday, right? But now today's a Thursday, so that's not... I don't know if you guys realize this. Thursday is not Friday. Queen Katie says, Chuck's away for it, Logan. Catch. Thank you, Queen Katie. Bubba says, this is Twitch then. Let's see. Oak said name puns for everyone, part 2. Those are all the puns. There's a pin message. Oak said, after this one, I will redeem a final poll between the winners of these two, and we'll get the definitive best one. But yeah, Twitch buffering. Eglin says buffer, frown, and big ol' quality drop. I'm sorry. Oak said, checked YouTube to see if it was better, and I was greeted with Logan saying, oh yeah, I totally washed my face this morning, in a suggestive voice. That wasn't suggestive. It was sarcastic. Let me read a couple comments over on YouTube, in fact. Let's see. Oh, Jenna says, hello, long time no stream. How you doing? It's good to see you. Dermot said, my entire friend group has been sharing Gura clips since then, much to the confusion of one of them who knows nothing about VTubers. I just, everybody started like posting stuff, and my entire social media feed is like nothing but Gura right now because I liked a whole bunch of things. And social media is like, oh, clearly you like Gura. And every time I see it, I'm like, yeah, I'm like still clicking like, but I'm like, yes, I like it, but it's making me sad. I'm assuming, I'm hoping that she's going to go back to her, I won't say the name of it because I feel like that's like a taboo to say it on streams, but her previous username before joining HoloLive. But then again, also has streamed very seldomly in the past couple of years, and is definitely a millionaire by now. So it's like maybe she's just gonna retire. I hope she keeps streaming. Derma says it's fine on YouTube, so it's a Twitch thing. Almost Friday is not Friday. Jenna says laptop got busted, so is MIA for a while, but I'm glad to see you guys are on the third case. This is my favorite one. I'm enjoying this one. I was able to figure it out fairly early on. In fact, early-ish, I guess I should say. In fact, last stream we had some extended clips that Queen Katie had made showing the moment that I had guessed correctly, and apparently their group spoiler chat freak out when I got it. Okay, let's play some more of the game, because that is theoretically what we're here for. Until that question is answered, I hardly think you can claim to have all the evidence. Oh, there was blood. Dun, dun, dun. Was that your Detective Gumshoe? I can see why you blew up. I'm no longer mad at you in the Gemini case. Why did I not hear about this from Eustace? Because he's a moron. Because Detective Gumshoe informed me of the results directly. I was planning to tell Mr. Winner about it myself, of course. You kept this to yourself until now, despite having no jurisdiction here whatsoever. I think Eustace had already left when we got the call from Gumshoe, or maybe not, I don't remember.
I am mad I didn't think of Dan to include in the poll.
Don da dun don da dun don da dun don da dun. Oh wait, was there a new poll? Thank you so much for the 10 bits, Vero! Oh crap, I forgot to put Grimlock back up on the couch, but Grimlock is still here. Vero! Thank you for the 10 bits, how are you doing? But you forgot to put Don da Don? Oh, the dun dun dun! I was thinking about the anime Dun dun dun. I'm like, did I miss a poll about anime show? Dun 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 dun! Vera, how's your grandmother doing? How's her physical therapy for her leg going? If you don't mind me asking, if that's not too personal. I hope everything's going well. Do we get to have you for a while tonight? Do we get to hang out with you, Vero? Thank you again for the 10 bits. I appreciate it. You kept this to yourself until now, despite having no jurisdiction here whatsoever? Mark my words, the committee will hear all about what you have done here today. As ever, my interest is in the truth, and if mistakes were made in the past, they must be rectified. Oh, was he talking about mistakes in the past, like the IS-7 incident? I thought he was saying like his own mistake of not telling Eustace. If you must report me to the committee, then so be it. But in return, we must be allowed to investigate this case to the very end. That is not my decision to make. You will need to discuss it with Eustace. Oh, good. We can easily manipulate that dork. Guess who's back, losers? He needs to say that every time he enters the room. Guess who's back, losers? And with good news, too. Oh, hey, Gusto's alive, but he's also not wearing red this time, so we should be able to see blood. But he is wearing red on his head. His chef's hat is red. Do we have a picture of what he looked like in the past in his profile? No, it was red there. So maybe he has like a head wound or something like that. It was a close call for a minute there, but Carmelo Gusto is alive. Oh? Gusto! He made it. Darn it all to heck. Wait, did he always have that? Is that new? The little seahorse on the back of his hand? I feel like that's a new tattoo. Is that a symbol for anything? Is that gonna be like a symbol of a group of assassins or something like that? They all have like a seahorse tattoo on their left hand. You're the ones who found me. Yep, long time no see, Gusto. You're the attorney's assistant. Oh, you've grown and you have an assistant of your own now. Assistant? No, I'm... He hasn't gotten the gig just yet. This is Gregory Edgeworth's son. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth at your service. Fate moves in mysterious ways. I'm in your debt. If you hadn't found me in time, I wouldn't be here to thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. After all, if you hadn't lived, we wouldn't be able to ask you what really happened 18 years ago. Huh? What are you talking about? We figured out quite a bit while you were out cold, including the fact that you're probably the guy who offed poor Artie Frost. Nervous sweating. What? Oh, is that true? Ms. Bounds set up a very elaborate trap to catch Mr. Frost's murderer. A trap that involved rigging the Pisces case with poison gas. Perhaps in light of that fact, you could tell us in your own words what happened back then. I have a singing feeling we're gonna go Mind Chest now. This has gotta be Mind Chest next, right? Because this is the boss fight of the chapter. But then maybe after that, we'll just like have a denouement and we'll be able to move on to the next case already. Let me read a couple more comments to the chat though. Queen Gator says, Logan, I think Twitch as a whole is suffering. One of my streaming friends had quite the upset stream, dying several times, and now the stream with the buffers, but thankfully I haven't died yet. Knocks on Oakspo. Okay, so...
Yep, I'm home for tonight.
Hey!
One family member offered to stay with her last night, so I went home and got good sleep.
Good.
As for Granny, she's still in the hospital just because she's not cooperating with physical therapy. My granny is a tiny, stubborn old woman who is also a scaredy cat.
Oh, and it continues to say she will rip the doctor a new one just because she's scared of standing up and walking around, and it's almost comical. I mean, you know what? Part of me, I don't know why, but I have a lot of respect for those kind of tough as nails old ladies that just kind of, they're too stubborn for their own good sometimes. So, but I do hope that she goes through the physical therapy because it is important for a full recovery. But it's an endearing quality. And Vero, I'm so glad that we're going to be able to have you hanging out with us. Once again, I do want to periodically give, because we're almost to the 1 hour mark, want to remind you guys, I'll say this a couple more times in the stream tonight, that tomorrow's stream is canceled because I have a work thing tomorrow night. But we are going to go forward tentatively for an Easter evening stream. But thank you again, Vero. All right, read a couple more comments to the chat though. Let's see. But yeah, okay, so Queen Katie, I was going to say, if it is a Twitch-wide thing, that actually is a bit of a relief to me, because then it's like, well, then nothing I can do, you know? Eglin says, you can lie to your bird, but also the bird's cute, and it makes you feel bad in your own head. Aww. Magpie says, you can lie, who's going to stop you, but you get to write about the experience after, which helps, and it's really sweet. It can adapt how you feel too. Like if you're a low energy day, you can use low energy activities. Ooh. Oak said, and you can't vote for yourself. Queen said, don't worry, I voted Vero, because Vero is cool. Vero said, thank you, thank you. Is that how Vero pops in? Just thanking people for a compliment. Over on YouTube, let's see. Dermo says, I'm trying to hear the Don Da Don intro, but in Gumshoe's voice. It's very funny. Let me try. Okay. Don Da Da Don Da Da Don Da Da Don Da Da. Akirawi no Ari Yakara Antra Nankaja Tabara Tamokarawa Quabara 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 Minamoto no Hayata. Hey, I think I messed up a couple of the words there. Or the chorus. Hey, I'm Gumshoe. Kokoro Karada Atama Minigite Yuku Nandaka Shenagara Imahanaga Haita Naraba Koreami Karo Sharaba. Hey. Toitate yuku karaba. Nando date ikiru omayaki mino naka. Mabda no raya mino naka. Mune no okuni chuiteru melody. Rhythm ni. Yeah. Is that about what you were looking for, Dermo? Valtube says, I said, I love Gusto's theme. Oh, well, you're glad that we're paused here, because we're doing that right now. Dermo says, if he wears red to hide blood stains, I don't think I want to know why he's wearing his current outfit. It's for poo stains. And a little bit of pee on his neck. Don't worry, it's not his pee, so it's fine. And Valtube clapping. Back over on YouTube, Oak says, I don't know if Crystal can pin the explanations because she might be on mobile. Oak says, Vero, Cookster, how you doing, Cookster? It says, straight up listening to Steely Dan right now with you in the background, and you actually sound like a backing vocal. Ooh. Unfortunately, although I'm familiar with the existence of Steely Dan, I don't know which songs are theirs, so I can't really think of that, but I will take that as a compliment. Vera says, hi. Beo says, Vero. Oak says, the goat for real. Vera said, Beo. Oak says, Vero, do you think I should nab ice cream? Quiggy says, Vero. Bubba says, nah, she has that due to COVID restrictions and never got rid of it. Oak says, a la Katie. Vera said, always. And Eglin said, also, they just updated the app. So if you need, you can pause the whole app, keeping the first 8 options open so the daily streak stays active even if you don't log in for a few days. Oh, I actually like that a lot. Like if there's an emergency, more apps should have that for pausing streaks. I'm thinking about Duolingo. This past week for Duolingo is weird. I started like a new unit and suddenly it's doing like lessons from the very beginning, like really easy lessons, even though I'm like so far into it, and it's weirding me out. All right, let's play a little bit more of the game now. You could tell us in your own words what happened back then. For some reason, when he mumbles like that, I'm thinking about Popeye. Or perhaps you'd rather exercise your right to remain silent. Oh, it's not that. Gusto here's a fan of the old meditation. You know, Om and all that jazz. Wow, sleeping while standing seems pretty cool. It's biologically impossible to sleep standing up, Kay. Your legs would relax and you'd fall over. That's one heck of a talent. Except there's no sleeping involved in meditation, Kay. Hey, Gusto, old pal, how about you snap out of it and tell us what went down way back then? I was caught in the girl's trap, so I must be the killer? Is that your idea of a joke? I'm the victim here. Indeed you are, Mr. Gusto, and there's no evidence that you have done anything wrong yet. What about his actions with breaking into the case? Like nobody else would freak out and hide a body like that. He like broke it open and tossed it in the river, right? Mr. Edgeworth and Mr. Fender are merely speculating. Rest assured that they have no authority here, and that you may pay them no heed. At least somebody here seems to be on my side. Judge Verity Gavel, it's a pleasure, Mr. Gusto. I will assist you in any way you may require. I thought judges are supposed to be impartial. Perhaps you could begin by explaining what actually happened 18 years ago to Mr. Edgeworth. Fine. If you want me to prove I'm innocent, Mr. Prosecutor, I'll be happy to. Objection! So, this is how you mean to play it, Judge Gavel? You're hoping Mr. Gusto will help you hide what happened instead of trying to correct the record? I believe only in the infallible judgment of the goddess of justice. Except it's us humans who make the actual judgment calls in a court of law. And so long as there are those who would use the law to their advantage, our rulings are fallible indeed. If you would use your position to further obscure the truth, then neither she nor I will forgive you. That's actually a pretty tough line. I like that. We shall see about that. That was good. Good on you, Edgeworth. Let me read some more in the chat, because I'm sure getting further behind. Oak says, now but a snack because Katie inspired me to. Queen Gator says, heck yeah. Oak says, ice cream time. Cookster says, having a glass of cereal because I don't feel like eating a whole bowl. I would give you a tisk on that. But I mean, sometimes I've had things like that in the past where all the bowls are in the dishwasher. Bumbo says, I will admit, I did stuff random Transformer. Hey, Quigate said, it's doing good for me right now. Crystal says, oh crap, wrong pin. Quigate with the keyboard slam. Vera said, it's fine for me. Quigate said, you better pin yourself, Crystal. Crystal says, oh, well, no. Magpie says, ooh, I didn't know about the pause. That's nice. And Quigate says, fair. Oak did a poll there. Final redeem for the poll. And there were the options. Oak said, I just spent like 3,000 points on all of those. Over on YouTube, what do we got over there? Dermo says, so much better than I could have imagined. Geno says, I don't think it not being his pee is still very comforting. I think that was the point. It's because like sometimes people say that. It's like, like blood on it. It's like, no, don't worry, it's not my blood. It's like, that doesn't make it better.
Wait, who was the Transformers check for today?
Oh, Vero, it's one you would know. It was Scourge. It was Scourge. So yeah, well, I didn't know if Exterminatus meant G1 Scourge or RID 2001 Scourge or live action movie Scourge. There's a lot of different Scourges or a Unicron trilogy Scourge. But thank you for the 10 bits, I appreciate it. Let me read a couple more comments over on YouTube. Derma says, yeah, it not being his just raises more questions. Shingo says, I've arrived. Hospitals are heavy and tiring, but I can relax now a bit. Do you work in a hospital, Shingo? Said, oh, Duolingo does early lessons to make you re-practice things that you might have forgotten. Maybe that's what it is, but it's like really early stuff where it's suddenly like, you know, spell out this word. 0, 1, 2. It's like, really? You're making me do 0, 1, 2? Valtube says, I said I love the suspense theme. Did I read it wrong? Oh, Shingo with a retracted message and says, Gavel, I'll defend the courts as if I was an extremist religious fanatic. Dermot says, wow, Edgeworth is invoking God against her. That's wild. I know he's using her own religious fanaticism against her. That's an Uno reverse card. Cookster says, one of these days I'll finally beat my evil shadow self. No, didn't you learn anything for Persona 4? You have to embrace your evil shadow self. Bill will say, maybe that's what I should have done on the April Fool's stream. Bill says, also, I'm excited for Raito Remastered. The encounter rate in Raito 1 is not fun whatsoever. It's funny, Beowulf, I saw on Discord that you posted that you were live. Oh, excuse me, got a hiccup there. That you went live today and you were playing some Raito, and so I clicked it, and it went over there, and you were offline already, but it said that you had streamed 3 hours ago with a stream that was 3 hours long, so I think I just narrowly missed you. How'd it go? Veer said, on it! Bill said, combine that with extremely rough combat, and it's not fun. Magpie said, gonna lurk, BRB, lurk, thank you for the lurk, see when you get back. I should play some game. What do you advise, George Gavel? It would seem that you are under suspicion because it was you who triggered the poison gas, specifically by opening the Pisces case's lid. Would you be so kind as to share why with us? Understood. I came to see Frost sculptures, as simple as that. I made a mistake with the opening times and arrived a half hour early. Ms. Bound, we actually, hold on, Mr. Gusto, could we do this as a cross-examination? I cannot show you evidence unless your text is green. Ms. Bound, was there no one at the reception desk around at that time? I'd left the main entrance unguarded and unlocked, just in case the killer made an appearance. I was also busy making preparations elsewhere all the way up until the gallery's opening. So no, there was no one here on the first floor then. But I did make sure that all the wings were locked up tight, all except for the autumn wing, that is. I see. She did all that just to steer the culprit into the autumn wing, which is precisely where Mr. Gusto went. Sneaking into a building is pretty suspicious, however you slice it. Silence in the courtroom. I will permit no objections or interventions unless there is some evidence that the witness is lying. The courtroom! You know this is an art gallery, right? Mr. Gusto, if you could please continue by explaining why you opened the Pisces case. I wanted to see Frost's work up close, so I went up to the Gemini. Sorry, I guess it was supposed to be the Pisces statue. And I saw that the lid was frozen on the tight, so I grabbed the blowtorch from nearby and tried to open it. When I finally got it open, the gas came pouring out. Fascinating. His is a sort of flawless testimony attorneys can only dream of. Yeah, the everything sounds like a lie kind. I am none too satisfied with Mr. Gusto's explanation myself. Alas, there is no evidence to refute it. Come on, there must be something! It's a bound story you should be questioning, not mine. I'm not the one who set up the gas trap. She could have killed anybody with that thing. Oh, who is that? Oh, she turned on the sprinklers as soon as the gas was released. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was gunning for the killer and nobody else. That killer being you, old pal. What are you serious about calling me a pal? I didn't think of us as friends, but were you being sarcastic? I don't know. So you believe that self-confessed criminal? Ms. Baum is far from blameless in this affair, and she will have to pay for her crimes. But so will Mr. Frost's killer! You seem determined to pin Frost's murder on me, but I had no reason to kill him. And you have no evidence to prove otherwise. Okay, so we're gonna have to find a motive for him. Crap, do we ever think about the motive? Because they were conspiring together. Up until maybe it has something to do with the photograph. If you remember, we looked at the photo of their families. Oh no, where is it? There we go. A photo of Frost, Gusto, and their sons. Gusto's son visited his father daily up through the semifinal. Wasn't it like through the semifinal, right before the final, around that time that they stopped collaborating together? And so maybe it has something to do with that like the kid was being held hostage? I don't know. Something like that. Artie Frost, maybe he's not such a good guy either. I gotta read some more in the chat, though. Let's see. Beowulf says, Rido Remastered, however, will not only have better gameplay, but also you won't have to deal with random encounters. Queen Kitty said, do yell potato if needed. Crap, that's how far back I am. Oak says, Bayo, you have the best pun. Beowulf bows. Oak says, no, we bow to you. Beowulf said, I think this calls for a Beowulf command. Oak says, yes. Queen Kitty said, I repeat, do yell potato if needed. A lot of people doing the Beowulf command. Bubbo says, I can do that better. Crazy says, I was pretty bummed about her retiring. Oh, we're talking about, yeah, Gaugura. I hope she's gonna still stream just indie, but who knows? It's up in the air. Oak says, spoiler chat is conspiring right now for entirely unimportant banter? Is it unrelated to what's happening, Oak? Atlantic says, hey, I'm late. How you doing, Atlantic? Bubba says, hey. Oak said, Atlantic, Teddy Gun, or Teddy, oh yeah, that. Quickie said, the hint I was gonna share, that was pinned earlier, said Logan got it anyway. Chris said, Logan got it, yippee! Okay, I'm just gonna check YouTube. I will get back to the game. I promise, Edgeworth. Let's see, Shingo says, no, I don't work there. I'm visiting the mother of my best friend. Well, you know, oh no, I was gonna say Vera's grandmother is the one that's in the hospital. Is Vera's mom your best friend? Huh? Valtube says, Edgeworth just updated a god. Shingo said that reaction from Kay about everything being a line gave me deja vu from that one time Larry's testimony started in the last case from the original trilogy, impressing the first statement as Miles say, I have no idea where to begin, though I'd have an aneurysm trying to think of all the contradictions in this statement. Valtube said it's gotta be the butts from Turnabout Musical starts playing. Okay, sip of water, back into the game, I promise. But I gotta be really far behind in chat because I see slow mode has already been initiated here on Twitch. Now, why do you say here? I'm here on Twitch and on YouTube. I'm in both places. And you have no evidence to prove otherwise. Oh! Can we really not prove that he's the killer, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Gusto fell victim to the poison gas. That much is indisputable. I still can't figure out how to pronounce the word gas with a British accent. Yet, no matter how suspicious his actions in the present may seem, they prove nothing about the past. Yeah, but... Well, what about you, Mr. Fender? There must be something we could do. You're right. We may not have evidence, but we have plenty of intel. Let's see now. If Gusto killed Frost, he must have had a reason. He claims not to have a motive, but that can't really be true, can it? Okay, so then there's gonna be a puzzle piece that'll obviously go with what the motive is. Boop. If he did it, he has one. Not many people commit murder just for fun. Not many, but some people do. In fact, your old man had a little back and forth with Von Karma about a probable motive too, remember? Oh, he did. Did he? Oh, was it about that they had a falling out because they weren't working together anymore or something like that? How can you possibly say that with any certainty? If their relationship had broken down for some reason... Ah, there we go! Gusto helped Frost in the final, but the favor wasn't returned. That could very well have been the motive behind this murder. Von Karma wouldn't let us talk to Gusto back then, but we can now. If we can put the pieces together, I think the picture we've been looking for just might emerge. Yes, I think you might be right. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put those two puzzle pieces in my brain together before I can present it as evidence to him for reasons I assume all humans work this way. I need to think back over everything we know about the IS-7 incident, especially the questions that never got answered. And the finger marks? Were you the one wearing the gloves? I tried presenting that earlier as an unanswered question. Ms. Scone denied that the finger marks on the frame were hers. Plus, it was pretty high up, and she's a tiny little thing. But what if they were Mr. Gusto's? Perhaps he had wanted to take a look through the Ultimate Cookbook for himself. Had Gusto's goal been to look through the Ultimate Cookbook all along? So he asked me to go and put in a new cartridge. He seemed to think there should have been more shots left than there were. In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected. Okay, so we never found those extra Polaroid photos. Yes, the number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining. More film had been used up than Tanjiro expected. Did someone else use the camera? But he thought He thought maybe he just lost track somewhere along the way. Let's also save, because it might like dump us into that logic puzzle section with no way to save, and I might mess up some things. My father noticed these things for a reason. I just need to piece them together correctly. And in the absence of evidence, it's the only way to the truth. See, there we go, my brain pan. See, and the save isn't there, so I'm glad I did. Let me read a couple more comments in the chat, though. Yeah, Vera said, Gummy, no! Bale said, Tomcat for attention. Oak said, Spoiler Chat was conspiring for ideas for the poll. Amazing idea from Vero. The, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba was more like the Mario death sound. Bop-ba-da-bop-bop. That type of thing. Or wait, no, it was the death sound. It's just the first few notes of the main Mario thing. Almost Friday means it wasn't Friday. Vera said, it's Friday for me. Cookster says, a tear-filled like. Quinkita said, by the way, only because we have this song poll, I want to share a very old clip for good memories of Dual Destinies. Oh, crap. Okay, so we've already seen this. I know what this is. I will avoid it because that's my very embarrassing Hugh O'Connor song, which I don't think you guys, you don't need to hear that. You don't need to listen to that. Oh, yeah. Oak says, I really don't know much about Gura. She's just like a really funny streamer. She had been like viral a couple times before she became Gura, and she's just a funny, goofy streamer. Moonlight said, hi, Logan. Hour mark 051. I'm here early today. So there. I'm only 25 minutes behind. Not too bad. So what brings you here early then, Moonlight? And how you doing? Oak said to Vero, I know. Magpie with an unlurk. What'd I miss? I don't know. I don't think anything. Edgeworth and Gumshoe got in a fight. Oak said, Logan forgot that Vero was already here, and also the songs. Crystal says, Grimlock. Moonlight says, I'm lurking on YouTube too. Oh, thank you, Moonlight. Crystal says, didn't Logan already try to rate a pin by Vero? Laughing for gore. I must have assumed it was you, Crystal. Speaking of YouTube just a few moments ago. Shingo says, or read that. Valtube says, oh, I read that too. Dermo says, Schrodinger stream. Until one platform starts lagging, it's both a Twitch and a YouTube stream. Is 2 states at once. And then show the clip, you coward. Okay, fine. If you guys want to see it, it's not my most brilliant moment at all. In fact, it's the opposite of brilliance. It is stupidity. But like 5 people clipped this exact moment, so apparently chat liked it. It says it's from last year. This was from Dual Destinies during Turnabout Academy when Hugh O'Connor. Okay, here. It's where he showed off his little. And it was just playing this wistful music, and I got too into it.
Hugh O'Connor is such a fool. But I don't mean that just with wisdom, his brain don't work. But his friends still love him so much that they would hang out with him when he does twerk. Cause that rhymes with work. And Logan isn't good at songs.
Okay, I'm gonna read some. There we go. So there's the. Are you happy? Are you happy, Dermo? You got to see it. We lost 4 lurkers from that clip, probably. I don't know. Probably something like that. Okay. Let's play some game. And let's figure out what we need to...
What did I just come into?
Wendy!
Face emoji.
Wendy, thank you so much for the 10 bits. How are you doing? Queen Katie posted an old clip just for funsies. And I was like, I'm not going to show it. But then chat demanded... but okay, Wendy, how are you doing? Good to see you, Wendy. I do know that Nora is seeing the Miku movie tonight. You said you're going to see it tomorrow, right? Miku, ooey-oo. But how are you, Wendy? Murderer's motive. Gusto insisted he had no reason to kill Artie Frost, but... had Gusto's goal been to look through the Ultimate Cookbook all along? More film, or Gusto helped Frost in the final, but the favor wasn't returned. Remaining exposures, more film had been used up in the Tangaroa than expected. Oh, maybe what happened was he took the cookbook out and took pictures. We did just save, so obviously we have to figure out if the motive is going to be that their cooperation ended, and so he was like angry at him, or trying to get the cookbook. I'm gonna say the cooperation ended, because I think he was trying to win the contest to get the cookbook. And killing Artie Frost wouldn't really... I mean, I guess you could say it helps him because it eliminated one of the comp... Wow, what? There's noises. Oh, it's a Wendy clip. It's some Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's embarrassing. 10 attack is a what? Oh my god. Okay. Wow.
Yay! Yay. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna say murderer's motive is going to be the cooperation ended. Let's try and put these pieces together. Oh, Eureka! Oh. Mr. Gusto, you and Mr. Frost conspired to create works for the contest together, did you not? Huh? Oh, so you know my little secret. Mr. Fender was kind enough to inform me Mr. Frost was in charge of the designs while you were in charge of the flavors. Is that correct? Oh, what can I say? I still had a long way to travel on the road to becoming a master confectioner. But you only collaborated up through the semi-final. Something changed after that. We both wanted to show what we could do, show that we were better than the Tangaroa. Objection! Then why did you help Mr. Frost with his entry for the final? Oh, what grounds do you have to say that? It was that the flavors were identical. That was how we figured out before, I think. Your own statement made to Mr. Von Karma 18 years ago. You told him that you had been working together right up until the day before the final. Mr. Frost's entry was carved entirely from blocks of flavored ice. Ice which would have needed at least a day to freeze, and whose flavors would therefore have already been prepared by Mr. Gusto. Ah! Humph! Yes, which lines up perfectly with what Gusto told me, that he helped Frost out until the day before the final. In that case, why didn't Mr. Frost reciprocate and help Mr. Gusto in return?
Objection.
Ha! I can hardly be expected to read the minds of the dead. So, why didn't Mr. Frost help you in return? Oh. I submit that your relationship broke down for some reason, and that became the basis of your motive for murder. That's not how it was. Oh. Sure, we stopped working together, but it was all perfectly friendly. In fact, it was friend with benefits. We did a lot of gay stuff together. You stopped working together in a friendly way? Kind of hard to imagine, but okay. Besides, how do you think I did it exactly? You think I just strolled into Tangaroa's room and killed Frost? I couldn't have killed the man while Tangaroa was in there working on his chocolate pieces, could I? That's oddly specific. Makes it sound like you killed him in some other time. Gusto couldn't have killed Frost with Tangaroa in the room. Then you did it with Tangaroa out of the room. So you see, it can't have been me. All right, let's save again because it's going to make us do more puzzle pieces in just a minute. And then once we get some background music, I will read some more in the chat because I'm getting further and further and further behind. I wouldn't be so sure. There must be a window of time when Mr. Tangaroa wasn't in his room. And if I can prove that, I can prove that Mr. Gusto had the opportunity to kill Mr. Frost. Yeah, because when he went around to the other rooms to judge them. Oh, there we go, back in the brain. Let's read some more in the chat. Quick said, thank you for calling my boy a dork. I mean, I'm enjoying Eustace Winter, but he is a dork. Oak said, guess who's back, losers? Vera said, I love ya, da wiener. Oak said, everyone has to say that when they come back from lurks now. Can we make a command? Because we already have an unlurk command. What would it be? It's like an I'm back command, maybe? I'm back. Or guess who's back or something like that. That's when you unlurk. Say, guess who's back, losers. Oak says, I need to test this. Bill says, why him? Oak says, unlurk. Guess who's back, losers? Oak said, did I gain aura for this? So happy Eustace is here again. This Italian freak has a comically large chef's hat. Because you gotta keep your ratatouilles up in there. Vera says, I think the granny TTS broke stream. Quicket said, the timing, some of these are lol. Boba says, so one of my dogs was just sitting in the yard staring at, I think, a hedgehog? I don't think it was a raccoon or a skunk. It was sitting on the fence. They wouldn't even come for a treat. Well, hedgehogs are pretty small, right? So maybe. Oak said, I'm watching on YouTube and chatting on Twitch right now. Hey, that works well. Speaking of which, I should check the chat over on YouTube. Shingo says, wow, you catched up very fast. And, oh, I love this case. Also, funny is that you ended up picking up on the Robin twist so early. Oh, from the Dual Destinies stream? It's because I know the definition of the word co-ed. Nora is over there on YouTube saying, is Logan Robo even real? You've asked before and I've pinched my cheeks, but apparently that's not enough to prove my reality. So I don't know what more I could do. Shingo said, funnily enough, that is that I accidentally ended up starting a crush on Robin. Then the secret was revealed. After the secret, I thought she was really cute. Derma said, yes, I hadn't seen that. I'm content. Sounds like a rejected Tom Waits song. Valtube said, Gusto X Frost. Well, have you seen their little gay family photograph that they have? Derma said, I also had a crush on Robin. I stand by my guns, however. Robin is great. Honestly, all the characters in Turnabout Academy were great. It was a very frustrating chapter, but great characters. Bubble says, over on Twitch, I went out to check if they were okay. They were just fixated on the hedgehog. Bill said, you know what? I'll take it. I'm seeing Shrek the Musical tomorrow, and it's going to be cool because I get to go backstage. Oh! Oak said, Gumshoe knows the lyrics to Otonoke. Of course. It's in Japanifornia. They all know this stuff. Moonlight says, oh, by the way, I was lurking in your stream too, Queen Katie. Queen Katie says, ooh, thank you. Moonlight says, of course. Vera said, it's back again. Wait, what? The lagging? Pin message by Vera said, try typing down who's back in chat. All right, let me try that. Who's back? Guess who's back, losers? I love it. Wait, I can't use my own emotes? Oh, Streamlabs can't use those emotes because Streamlab doesn't have a subscription because it's a bot. Darn it! I always forget about that. Let's see, I'll read just a couple more quick comments here. Let's see, Vera says, it's back again. Gallop! Said I was about to watch Phoenix, right? The anime. How you doing, Gallop? Have we talked about the Ace Attorney anime? Didn't you guys all say that there's a lot of, like, air-bending powers when they object? Oak said, I'm upset because Steely Dan is low-key good, so I can't make fun of Steely Dan fans. Chaotic says, hey, Logan, Chaotic! Welcome back! Oak said, that's so true. Chaotic said, how far back is Logan? I like knowing. I'm gonna guess still 25 minutes. Oak said, I once lost 300 a day on Duolingo Streak because we had a power outage for a week. Ooh. See, you ought to be able to pause on those types of things. Just say, like, an excuse. I know it's just honor system, but anyway. Okay, so we gotta figure out what goes together. So the new thing is, timing the murder. Gusto couldn't have killed Frost with Tangaroa in the room. More film had been used up than Tangaroa expected. Did someone else use the camera? I feel like these two ought to go together. Because if somebody stole the camera, could just take photos of the cookbook and then you would need to worry about it. But it sounds like the thing we really got to worry about right now is the timing of the murder. But if we say that Tangaroa actually was out using the camera, we did save just before this. So it's either timing the murder and the remaining exposures means that Tangaroa did leave the room to go take photographs, and therefore that was an opportunity to sneak in there, or we're leaving the timing of the murder for right now and going to remaining exposures and one of the cookbook. So let's try that. Let's try timing the murder and remaining exposures. I'm probably wrong. This is very much a stretch. Oh no. That's not quite right. Oh. I need to reconsider the information at hand. No, we're just gonna reload, and you'll forget that you ever did that, Miles. That's why it was before, because we had to scroll down away from the autosave. Okay, motive for murder. There we go, that's where we're at. So in that case, let's try, we're I guess, going to ignore the timing for the moment. And we're gonna come back to that later, or something. By the way, we're halfway through the stream. I should probably ask Queen Katie, since you have like a guide that you're using to tell how far I am, do you think we're gonna get through this chapter tonight? So let's try remaining exposures were used to take pictures of the cookbook. Let's try that. Hey, there we go. Photographing the cookbook's contents would be the perfect way to steal its secrets undetected. And what if Mr. Gusto did just that? What if he used Mr. Tangaroa's camera to photograph the book? And that makes sense, but we don't have any proof that this is just speculation. Yeah, it'd be a perfect crime. So much better than stealing it and getting chased by the cops. So do you think that he like stole the contents? And then maybe when he went to Zhangfa, it was to like sell our pharmaceutical secrets to a foreign country? Sneaky snapshot or 20, huh? That could work. The only question is, when would he have done it? Good question. What about during afternoon tea? So maybe he was in there doing it and Artie Frost came in and caught him. And that's why he was, and so maybe they both had the same idea, went in there. And he's like, oh no, Artie Frost, my gay lover is here. Kapow, kill you, poison. Oh, wait, what's this? Ron Gusto didn't attend afternoon tea. So again, I was thinking it might be poisoning. So anyway, but maybe he was in there somehow and I don't know. Didn't Delicia say that Gusto and Frost had missed out on the little tea party they had? Okay, so that's the timing then. So we'll save, even though I think it's only 2 possible puzzle pieces in our brain to put together at this point. But we're just being cautious and being careful. Which brings me to the next question. When do we know for certain that Mr. Frost was still alive? Then, after the contest began, nobody saw hide nor hair of Frost until he had secluded himself in his room. And the only person capable of entering his locked room was Tangaroa, possessing as he did the only key. Unless he answered the door and then opens it, right? Miss Scone, were Mr. Tangaroa's works the only ones you sampled? No, dear, I couldn't help myself. When I'd finished my afternoon tea, I tiptoed over to Chillywink's room for a little taste too. Mr. Frost had kept to himself inside his room after the contest had started, but he was gone by the time Miss Scone snuck into it to sample his work, meaning there's a good chance he was murdered before the end of afternoon tea. Afternoon tea, timing of murder, putting together my brain. Oh, I don't know what to do. Only 2 puzzle pieces, the easiest puzzle ever. Oh. Eureka. We can be sure that Mr. Frost was alive until the beginning of afternoon tea, making tea time the only window during which Mr. Gusto could have killed him. Are you satisfied with Mr. Gusto's story now, Mr. Edgeworth? Sadly, I'm afraid I'm still rather unsatisfied. Oh, now a poll has appeared. We have a new poll over on Twitch. Poll, is Logan a true detective? Yes, no. He's a prosecutor. Ace detective, you're so dumb. More like Stogan, ace defective. That's what I'm gonna vote. Doesn't quite have the ring of Stupé, but things are finally starting to become clear, and the truth will soon come to light at last, huh?
You're so fine, yeah, I need you so bad, please step on me, queen.
One of these days, Wendy, I'm gonna run into On Takamaki and say that you've been lusting after Judge Go, which is also fine, because like On is also like a 16-year-old. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. And everybody is allowed their mommies and daddies, husbandos and waifus in Ace Attorney, because the characters do be attractive. But Wendy! Okay, so you are still here. I didn't know if like when you popped in to say hi if you like left, so I'm glad that you're still here. Let's read some more in the chat. Veer says, always assume at least 30 minutes. At least. It's 30 minutes at least. Oak said, and the worst part...
Here's your reward!
Hey, speaking of On, there you go. Oh, and on my little overlay that shows the bottom of the chat, I think we just had a first-time chatter pop in. Oh, it's Bone Glove saying hello there. I saw that you followed while I was offline. Thank you so much for the follow. May I call you Bone for short? Since you are new to the community, let me give you the quick rundown on everything. First of all, our schedule. We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, currently alternating between this, Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit, and Metaphor Refantazio, a JRPG for the makers of Persona. However, this week, Friday, tomorrow, I have a work-related commitment and I have to cancel tomorrow's stream. So no Metaphor tomorrow. Sunday is Easter, but that's like a morning holiday, so we'll probably still play Ace Attorney in the evening, and Metaphor will resume the following Tuesday. And I read every comment in chat. I'm just always very far behind. I'm probably at least 20 or 30 minutes behind. But I have an overlay that that shows the bottom of the chat. I don't really read it, but there's like an outline when there's a first-time chatter, and sometimes it catches my eye. So I saw you here. So welcome. And do let me know if I can call you Bone, because whatever I know you as when I first meet you, as with everybody, imprints on me like a baby bird, and it's what I know you as forever. Let me also give you real quick, and I probably ought to paste this over to YouTube periodically, a link tree that has all my socials on it. So yeah, I'm going to paste this over on YouTube as well. Has a Discord invite link, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all the stuff. Feel free to make use of it or ignore it as you see fit. No pressure on anything, but it's there should you feel so inclined. Sadly, because I'm so far behind, it may take me a while to catch up to see other things you've said. But in the meantime, we have like an amazing community of awesome people here. So pull up a chair, kick back, get to know people. I'm gonna have a sip of water. We'll see the results of the poll. I'll read a couple of comments to the chat, and then we'll get back in the game. And the winner with 69%, nice, is more like Stogan Ace Defective, with Oak contributing 30 channel points. Let's see. Oak said, and the worst part is that I literally did my Duolingo during the outage. Vera said that's why we post timestamps in chat to see when he reads them. Oh, here we go. Timestamp 1010. Okay. I am 35 minutes behind. It's longer than I thought. I'm sorry, Bone. I am so sorry, Bone. But this is every stream. Oak said, but since there was no Wi-Fi or service, Duolingo's servers didn't receive my streak. Oh, I didn't know you could play it offline. So I lost it. I was furious and just ended up quitting Duolingo for like 2 to 3 years. Chaotic said, it's not a problem or anything. I found it really funny knowing how far back he is. Oak said, Vero, you could have waited 1 second for 10101. Mama says, Luigi! That is the Luigi voice we're doing for Gusto. Vera said, I love making perfectionist people squirm. Oak says, but don't you want to hear Logan say 10101? Oh, I just did. Tiff, how you doing, Tiff? Says, hello, I'm here until the Tribe 9 service come back. How are you? Welcome, Tiff. We had a little bit of a gumshoe kerfuffle between Gumshoe and Edgeworth earlier. But other than that, things are going well. How are you? Are you still enjoying Tribe 9? Have you gotcha'd your favorite character yet? Oak said, so much more satisfying than 10100. Vera said, Tiff, hi. Oak said, Tiff. Tiff says, hi, Vero. And Vera says, hi. And Queen gave me the hydrate command. I did take a little sip a second ago. I'll take a full-on chug. I'll check YouTube. Also for comments, we'll get back in the game. There we go. Crap, where did I leave off? Oh, there's like a lot over on YouTube. I'm so sorry. Shingo says, yeah, but I'm a gay guy. I lost all interest. Valtube said, why you consider Turnabout Academy frustrating? It was just because that like everybody was lying so much and so obviously, and there were so many things that we had to deal with that we shouldn't have had to deal with. That's really all it was. Most of it was caused by the stupidity of like Hugh O'Connor, but he's such an endearing little himbo that you can't be too mad about it. It was just like, oh crap, we really got to deal with this. We really got to do this. Come on, it's so obviously this person over here. Shingo says, honestly, Turnabout Academy can be frustrating for some because the culprit's catchphrase and then being extremely obvious and stressing to deal with. That character is on its own too much for some. Also, some people just dislike the change of voice for the returning character that they do in the mock trial with. Said, can you tell I'm doing my best to avoid spoilers? And I appreciate that, Shingo. Derma says, well, I agree he's obvious. His breakdown was great. You have to give him that. Oh, it was. It was probably, I think, the second best breakdown in Dual Destinies. Valtube says, oh, I love that return. Ironically, I didn't enjoy the character that much in his first appearance. Shingo says, from my side, I love the twists and turns, and when everybody does that in order to protect each other and the friendship between suspects, that was sweet. The story was great, and the ending was sweet. Shingo said, also, Athena's only full case until filler from 6. Was it really her only case? Or only full case? Yeah, I still wouldn't necessarily call this stuff filler in AA6. I mean, they weren't related to the main thing, but they were thematically relevant. So I guess they didn't directly, but still. Opinion says, I've still been here the whole time, by the way. I'm just not talkative today. Bad brain day. It just doesn't want to work. It's okay. No obligation. I enjoy having all you here. And Derma said, given that it's TTS, I guess the extending gavel has uses. I could see that. Okay. I'll get back in the game. I will say once again, Bone Glove, I'm going to assume until you tell me otherwise I can call you Bone for short. Unless maybe you prefer Glove, but I will eventually get to your comments in chat. It just may be a little while, so buckle up, and like I said, enjoy the community. But things are finally starting to become clear. and the truth will soon come to light at last. Do you mean to say that you have uncovered new evidence? Evidence? No, no, no. I put pieces together in my brain. I was hoping I might convince Mr. Gusto to open up to us about it instead. Oh crap, it's gonna be Mind Chess. It's gonna be Mind Chess. And we're gonna save when we get in there, but oh wow. If you know what, Bone, if you're new, I don't know if you know this, I am a shameless save scummer. And in Mind Chess, I scum the crap out of my saves. Oh, is it mind games again? It is. Mr. Gusto, I have a question for you. I said I have a question for you.
What is it?
You chose to make your entry for the final on your own.
I told you I wanted to test myself. I wanted to prove I was the best in the world.
Objection!
If that were the case, then surely you wouldn't have chosen to cheat in the first place. So tell me, Mr. Gusto, why did you feel the need to team up with Mr. Frost? Oh, Mind Chess time. Moo. 18 years ago, Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost collaborated in the confectionery contest. Okay, we're gonna save again, even right in here. This is about to get stressful. I hate doing Mind Chess. I hate it. I hate it so much. I mean, I guess a fun game, but it's a timer. It's stressful. But why did they work together? And why did they enter the contest in the first place? That's the information I need to get out of my opponent somehow.
Oh.
Oh crap, he's got 4. Mr. Gusto seems to have a habit of pretending to be asleep when things aren't going his way. Let's start by focusing on why he chose to work with Mr. Frost. By my hand! Now is the time to dig up the truth that was buried all those years ago! Mind Chess commence! Why'd you collaborate? Mr. Gusto, what inspired you to collaborate with Mr. Frost?
We were acquaintances before we were contestants. He was interested in entering the contest, so we decided to sign up together.
And your decision to pair up with a sculptor had nothing to do with your lack of faith in your skills. So maybe both of them had like the same client or boss or whatever that wanted the ultimate cookbook secrets?
Oh, you don't know me? We joined forces because we wanted to make the most perfect creations possible, that's all.
Bide my time! I don't know. Do we bide our time with this guy?
Frost's son and mine were in the same grade at school, so we got along pretty well, too.
Oh? So you were just two friends. Much like I am friends with that man who happened to try for the title of world's greatest confectioner.
Oh.
Bide my time. Oh crap, no, I think when he does that, I have to tell him to wake up.
I'm still recovering, so you've got nothing to say. Let me get back to the medical room.
Okay, so that's what it does. When he falls asleep, we wake him up. Wait, I may need to be a little more proactive. Okay, so I lost some time. I study my opponent's reactions and pick my own responses accordingly. Why'd you collaborate? Okay. And so we bide our time the first time, and then the second time, we're gonna tell him to wake up. We just gotta think of this as the Wiggles. And Jeff, wasn't Jeff the one that always falls asleep in the Wiggles? Wake up, Jeff! Pretending to be asleep when the going gets tough won't work on me, I'm afraid. Mr. Frost was a sculptor, Mr. Gusto. I doubt he cared much about winning a title for confectioners, in which case he probably had a different motive for taking part in the contest, wouldn't you say?
Fine, it was me. I wanted that title. Frost was only in it for the prize, the ultimate cookbook.
Oh, here's a guess. We made a big deal about their photo of the two of them and their kids. One of the kids had like no hair. It was like buzzed down. That's sometimes used as a sign of like terminal illness. Because, I mean, obviously cancer patients when they have chemo, they lose their hair. But it's still a good visual cue for terminal illness, right? And the Ultimate Cookbook is supposed to have all these cures for various diseases that for some reason aren't public. I don't think that's the way it works in the real world. But what if the whole thing is that Frost had a son who was dying of an illness, and that's why he wanted access to the cookbook? Although I feel like that would be more of a motive for Frost to kill Gusto if there was like a schism between the two of them. So maybe... I see. And since your objectives dovetailed so neatly, you decided to work together. Also, we should save again, because we survived that round, but no saying about the other. I will stagger them, just in case I really screw things up. Oh, and there's a pinned message on Twitch, pinned by viewer written by Queen Katie said, pin please if possible, lol. Gusto's mind chest took 5 scrolls on my guide, by the way. I would burn this man for it. I hate him so much. Okay, so this is gonna be a long one, so we gotta buckle in apparently. Let's read some more though. Queen Katie said, I think I'm gonna go hunting for for more food, not typo, I be silly. Bill says, it is a fun game, but I hate the combat so much. Oak said, Logan embracing no gal. I realize it now, you are me, and I am you. I was so ashamed of your dark mode lifestyle that I ignored that I too can't use dark mode for YouTube Studio. Maybe you can trust him. Awaken to Persona, no gal Greg Lone Droid. Oak said, this is my fanfic of Logan in Persona 4. Low-key, the April Fool's stream would make a great P4 dungeon. Oh, I could see that. Vera said, random Transformers check, not really a check, but me struggling to distinguish between Overload and Overlord. Overload is just a guy. He's a different guy depending on the continuity. Largely forgettable in most cases. Sometimes he might be a Constructicon, sometimes it might be a Minicon. Overlord, however, is just a really scary Decepticon that just kills people really, really violently and just wants Megatron Senpai to notice him. Oak says, it even, I do have an Overlord, but it's like hard to get to back up here. Oak says, even has a spaceship theme. Vera says, fire. Oak said, maybe Logan's Persona dungeon would be like Okumura. Logan becomes what he hates. Vera says, laughing. Oak said, if I knew how to make mods, I would make a P4 mod adding in his dungeon. And then Queequeg said, I bring ice cream. Oak said it could have mini boss partway through where you beat Nogal and break out of the spaceship to free Logan, but he still denies himself and even more and unlocks even more of the dungeon where there are a few more floors and then the final boss of dark mode Logan. Nora said, that movie is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. So Nora, good to have you. So you enjoyed the Miku movie? Miku, ooey-oo. Oak says, Nora! Crystal with a timestamp, 1:11:40. Still about 35 minutes behind. Bubba says, the unrelated thing was the Logan Jingle Bowl discussion. Oh, hey! Nora says, be prepared, Crystal, with the ba-ba-ba.
This does not narrow it down. A lot of Decepticons, if not most, are scary guys who want Megatron Senpai to notice them.
He also has luscious lips. Does that help? He's also, a different version of him is one of the several main bad guys in the Japanese anime spin-off, Transformers Super God Master Force, which focuses mostly on humans piloting. It's like a more traditional mecha anime. And Overlord in that is piloted by an evil married couple, a man and a woman named Mega and Giga. But Overlord is actually awesome. I really can't get to him up on that shelf. I'll have to show you later. I'm sorry it doesn't narrow it down, Vero, but Overlord is great. Once you get to Last Stand of the Records in IDW, you'll realize the hype around Overlord. Let me check over on YouTube. Valtube says, I remember completing this mine chest was so satisfactory. It's because it was just so challenging or something. Shingo says, Gusto has a habit of pretending to sleep when things are not going his way. Imagine him driving and being like, oh, that the detour is inconvenient. Falls asleep at the wheel. Probably, I mean, we already established that he's really accident prone. Maybe it's because whenever he's in the middle of doing something dangerous, he just like falls asleep. Maybe he's not even accident prone. He's just a narcoleptic and none of us are sensitive to that. Okay. I see. And since your objectives dovetailed so neatly, you decided to work together. But then something happened. A breakdown in your relationship, perhaps? If so, I want to know why.
Mr. Prosecutor, I'm still quite unwell after my brush with the death. Push me too hard. And I'll be on my way back to the medical room.
No, wait, no.
Then you better wrap this up quickly. I'm already dangerously low on the patience.
Mr. Gusto is trying desperately to make his escape, but he's not going anywhere yet. Not as long as he's still keeping things from me. So let's figure out what he was really after next. Did I save after we finished that last one? I can't remember if I did or not. So let's save again just to be sure. And we just got 3 more puzzle pieces to capture. All right, okay. Thank you for the HP, or timer. There's no time to lose. I need to pick the right line of questioning and fast. Why? Did you want to appear on Bacon Bop? I don't know. You wanted to appear on Mr. Kangaroo's TV show Bacon Bop, didn't you?
Huh? On Cook and Conga?
I believe it was called Bacon Bop.
You really think people would have wanted to watch me dance like an idiot while I work?
I would. No, it might have been a bit much for younger viewers.
Oh, I thought not. Listen, I know what I'm good at, and prancing around on TV isn't it. Maybe you should focus on what you're good at too, because it certainly isn't asking the right questions.
Touché, Mr. Gusto. I need to choose my words more carefully. I didn't know that you could have a choice on the first question. Okay, so you want more than just the title. You too had your eyes on something other than the title, didn't you? After all, I'm not sure the title of World's Greatest Confectioner even counts for that much.
Oh, now you're insulting the way of the confectioner. My only goal, was to win that title. I do not care about anything else.
Oh, it was a pin message on Twitch. Written by Omari, pinned by Vera, said, you guys do know that sleep is mandatory, not optional, right? Well, I mean, it's not like mandatory, like right on. I mean, you could put it off. You could procrastinate it. I'm way too good at that. But my gosh, last night was actually the first time in a couple weeks that I had a good night's sleep. But thank you, Omari. How are you doing? I feel like it's been a little while. Okay, here we go.
You have no idea how much it would have meant to me.
If face you were never, bide my time. Because he's not pretending to be asleep, right?
Look, my sense of design may not have been up to snuff back then, but you should see me now.
Oh? So, you've improved.
You better have. I didn't do all that training in Zhang Fa for nothing.
Again, please remember that, Edgeworth, because that's going to make the statute of limitations thing different. Bide my time.
I looked up to Tanjiro, you know, spent hours poring over the designs of his work. Even used to watch his show with my son.
Sounds to me like Mr. Tanjiro's work was especially influential on your early studies. And with his recipe book, you might have even become the best someday. Like no one ever was. To cook them was your real test.
Oh, maybe. The book was a real treasure, no doubt about that. Any confectioner would have wanted it.
So you're interested in the book too? He's pretending to be asleep, right? You claim that your only goal was to win the title, yet you also seem to have an interest in the contest's prize, the ultimate cookbook. Okay, 2 down, we got this.
The greatest collection of recipes by the world's greatest confectioner. I can't say I had absolutely no interest in it,
Except it doesn't have confectionery. It was all about like pharmaceutical stuff, isn't it? Thank you, Toilet Talk. I will save again. Thank you. We need to keep scumming our saves. I'll also read some more of the chat in a minute because I'm still like 35 minutes behind. I feel so bad that we have a new person here and I'm so far behind.
And even if I did, what exactly is so wrong with that?
Nothing, I suppose. Only that the book contained recipes for medicines, not desserts. Now we can read some more in the chat. Nora says to Crystal, be prepared. Oak said, I'm discussing my fanfic ideas for if Logan's April Fool's stream was Persona 4 Dungeon. Nora said, as soon as I got home, though, I felt like everything just left me. Also, the stream is glitching a lot. I don't know if that's just me, by the way. It's not just you. I'm hoping it's not just my channel, that it's just a lot of Twitch, though. Bumbo says to Oak, dark mode Logan? Dark mode is Logan's shadow? Well, I mean, according to the April Fool's stream lore, I think so. Oak said this would be, and I even had like orange eyes, which are close to the yellow eyes of Persona 4. Oak said this would be more P5 coded, but there could be a little mini boss for the first few floors that are all weak to light, and you'd have to beat those bosses to make the cracks in the spaceship. Ooh. Nora said, I love Miku so much. That movie was so peak. Oak said to Bumbo, Nogal is Logan's shadow, and dark mode Logan is the final boss. Boba says to Oak, I see. Oak says to Nora, also, yeah, Twitch in general has been broken today for every streamer. I'm just watching on YouTube right now and chatting on Twitch. Nora said, is Wendy here? Oak said, I don't think so, sadly. Bumble says, ooh, chunky stream. Nora says, no. Boba says, all pulp stream. Magpie says, I'm about to start Lego bag 36 out of 44. So you're still building the Batman the Animated Series Lego set? I think I can finish the build tonight, possibly. Bubba said, do it. Look at it. Queen Katie said, okay. I posted in the Discord instead. Oak said, I have an ouchie on my back. Queen Katie says, yay. Oak says, Wendy. Wendy says, hi. I'm lurking a bit because I'm going to go to bed soon, but I'm seeing the Miku movie tomorrow. I'm so excited. Crap. I just barely reached where Wendy arrived. Nora said, Wendy. Bubba says, woo. Chaotic says, Miku movie. Yeah, apparently it's about a Hatsune Miku who cannot sing. Because chat says that everyone has a Miku inside of them. Oak said, Logan, when you get here in chat, you should check general in Discord. Okay. Apparently this is important. I gotta check the general Discord chat. It's probably gonna be people playing tic-tac-toe on my giant forehead again. Let's take a look and see what it is. General chat. And Oak is posting a thing where Oak says, I have an ouchie on my back, and Queen Katie says, yay. Is that what it was? Queen Katie, why are you cheering that Oak has an injured back? Why? Why, Queen Katie? Nora says, Wendy, I saw it. It's so good. Moonlight said, Miku movie. How have I not heard of this? I've only heard about this in our chats, to be totally honest. Pin message written by Vero. Pin by Vero said, welcome to Logan Robo channel, where our motto is, why risk it when you can reload it? Save scumming is not a phase, it's a lifestyle. That should be our motto. I mean, honestly, because if you lose, you just reload anyway. There's no real consequences in this game to losing, except you have to go back and do stuff over, which really isn't fun. That's just frustrating. So it's a safe scum. It's fine. But thank you for the pin message. Let me read a few more comments. We will get back to the game soon, but I got to start catching up because I'm still so far behind in chat. Queen Katie says, to Wendy, you should have been around last stream, lol. I tried to explain the lore of Sakai to Oak. Could you do it? Nora said, Wendy, come back. Wendy said, okay, so there's a lot of lore, but there's a specific group you want to know about. Oak said, I have literally no idea what anything means. I didn't know there were groups. Nora said, Wendy. Queen Katie said, I think just in general we'll do Wendy because they were confused about the movie's premise. Wendy said, yeah, if you haven't played the game, you don't really know the characters. It may be confusing. Queen Katie said, I just explained it as everyone has a Miku in their heart. Oak said, there's a game. It's a rhythm game. Nora says, Wendy, can I DM you because I'm confused on one thing? Nothing to do with spoilers to the movie, just lore stuff. Queen Katie said, yes, Oak. The movie is based off the game, lol. Wendy says to Oak, So the movie is based on Project Sakai, aka Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage. And then Wendy says to Nora, yes, I shall help. Oak said to Queen Katie, hey, I didn't even listen to Miku. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know about the Miku game. Queen Katie says, fair. Bumbo says, I don't know if I'm the only one who hears it. Is Logan's Gusta voice Luigi? It is. It is. It's Luigi. Oak says, I know nothing about Miku because besides she is a whimsical and is a Vocaloid voice. And Bumble with the hydrate command. We're gonna do that. I'll check YouTube real quick. We'll get back to playing the game. There we go. Over on YouTube, let's see. Dermo says, I tried that tactic in preschool. It didn't work. Mind chess just shows why you don't run your mouth in trials. Pure self-incrimination. Shingo says, wait, was that Wendy, a Gravity Falls reference? Oh, was it? It's been so long since I've seen Gravity Falls. That's a good show. I still need to track down the Book of Bill. I'm assuming it's probably sold out and hard to find now because I waited too long. But let's play some more of the game and hopefully I'll eventually get caught up, especially because, like I said, we have a new friend in chat. I don't know if Bone is still here or got frustrated with me not catching up. But anyway. Only that the book contained recipes for medicines, not desserts. Also, I can't remember if I think we saved, but I don't remember when it was. So let me save again real quick here before we get into the next phase. But it looks like we're about halfway through this mind chess. We're doing pretty good. We're doing a heck of a lot better than I did on a lot of the previous mind chesses. And everyone who entered the contest supposedly knew that. I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere. I can't let him slip from my grasp now. I just need to stay calm and keep the pressure on. Oh, it feels good to recharge. Next, let's find out why he wanted the cookbook. I know I already just saved. Let's save here so that if we do have to scum, it's fewer screens to click through. And I'll try not to ask stupid stuff about Bacon Bop anymore. Let's find out why he wanted the cookbook. I know the cookbooks really were... yes. Did you know how valuable the cookbook really was?
What kind of question is that? It's a collection of Tangaro's recipes. There wasn't a confectioner in the world who wouldn't have wanted to get their hands on it.
I don't have a clue as to how to proceed with this line of questioning. I better try another tack. Okay. Did you... So your plan was to win the cookbook and use it to help you with your own creations?
What errors? A book like that could have improved my craft tenfold.
I do like that I don't think I got a penalty for that question, so that'll be important later, maybe? You could have made a lot of money if you'd sold it.
Oh, I don't know much about what was actually in there, but it was worth more than money, I'll tell you that.
Oh, he's pretending to be asleep again. You know more than you're letting on. Come now, Mr. Gusto. I think you know more about the ultimate cookbook than you claim. Did not work.
They told us a little about it at the start of the contest.
Then you know what kind of recipes it actually contained, don't you? And that they weren't dessert recipes at all.
I see you did your homework. Fine, so you know it was really in there. The Ultimate Cookbook, or the Angel's Cookbook to give it a proper title, is a collection of chemical formulas and ways to synthesize new medicines nobody ever heard of.
So he did note that the cookbook actually contained recipes for medicines. This could be an important clue. So now we'll ask if he knew his worth. Did you know how valuable the cookbook really was?
What kind of question is that? It was a collection of Tangarosa recipes, even though I said it wasn't just a moment ago. I am dumb, I'm pre-programmed.
Oh, time to deploy my clue. Your designs may have improved thanks to your training in Zhanghua, but you clearly didn't do enough work on your skills of deception. You've already admitted that you knew the Ultimate Cookbook was a collection of recipes for medicines. Ha ha ha! It's still standing. Why is it still standing? I'm gonna read a couple more comments to the chat. I get nervous when the chess pieces don't explode. I also gotta breathe. I haven't been breathing much here. Whew, there we go. Wendy says to Oak, but yesh. So from what I understand from the trailer, I think Miku is struggling to get her songs to reach the people who need it. Because the whole point of the Vocaloid collaboration with the characters is that they help the main characters understand their true feelings and express them through song. Quigita said technically Mario, actually, but whichever is funnier, lol. Oak said, add command, oh, the Guess Who's Back losers. Magpie says, guess who's back, back again. Shady's back, tell a friend. Crystal says, Crystal adds the command. Oak says, oh, I didn't expect anyone to actually do that. Vera said, I was making it too, laughing. Oak said, I don't think Streamlabs can use Logan emotes, though. Only if, like, you have to, like, gift it a sub or something. Rukov used to do that back in the day, but it was just too needlessly expensive. Vera said, try typing down who's back in chat. Magpie says, I do think it's incredibly funny that Phoenix lampshaded with co-ed so early, and yet everyone was confused for so long. Thought it was hilarious. I know, it was... Yes, Magpie. Quigita said, yeah, the bots can't do emotes unless they're subbed, I think. There's some testing of who's back. There's Rast. Say hello, how you doing? Oh, hey, guys, everybody. Rast is back. Today is Rast's birthday. I don't know if you saw on the Discord. So, is Rast still here? Rast Icon 17? Are you still here? Let's sing happy birthday really quickly to Rast, okay? Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rast Icon 17. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Rast. I think you said you went out to dinner, right? Was it fun? I think you said Montana's. I don't know what that is. I don't think we have those where I live. But welcome. How was your birthday? Did you get some good stuff? Get some good cake? Rast says, is Logan a true detective? Moonlight says, oh, happy birthday. Oak said, Rast, we need an ace defective option. Rast says, I don't know how to set up a poll, sorry. Oak said, I don't know what emote we should replace for the who's back command. Quigata said, well, after this logic stuff in the mind chest, so we'll see. Oak said, try to convince my partner to watch Barry right now. I need to get back at that. I watched the first season and I enjoyed it, but I also felt like the first season had such a good conclusion to it that it's like, do I really want to like keep going? I know it's going to get sad. Vera said, maybe this. Vera says, on it. Oak says, amazing idea, Vero the goat. Oak says, apparently my partner has been seeing a lot of Barry edits on TikTok and I'm trying to get him to watch it because of NoHo Hank. When he says, Vero, mwah, hi. Vera said, Wendy, hi. And then Vera says, I love ya. When he said, does Von Karma command? Raz says, I gotta go again, sorry. Okay, Raz, I don't know if, crap, was Raz not here for the birthday song? Vera said, wait, Wendy is here. Do you know what that means? Normie says, hey guys, how you doing, Normie? Good to see you. Oh, we got to where Bone Glove arrived. Bone, are you still here? Are we still in the bone zone? Actually, that sounds kind of dirty. I probably shouldn't say that. but I got to where you arrived. Huh?
Rost was here for it. Still here.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure. But thank you very much, Vera, for the 10 bits and for the confirmation for that. What he says, yeah, on reward, best reward. Vera said he caught them before me. Nora said Wendy tried to explain to my mom the Sakai thing. She didn't get it. Bone says, yeah. Normie says, hope things are well. Things are going all right. How you doing, Normie? I don't know if you're still here, but how are you? Wendy says to Nora, yeah, not gonna lie, it's a little confusing. I feel like a lot of people didn't play the game. They might be a little bit confused. Rat said, okay, sorry, I'm on stream, just with no audio, sorry. Bone says, I saw so many of the YouTube shorts. I decided to come in here. Oh, and a pin message, I might still be here. Okay, so see, Bone, you see, I promised I would get caught up. I should warn you, although you probably noticed that the actual VODs, the live streams, whatever you want to call these, they're very different than just the shorts. The shorts are just like, hey, here's one silly little joke. The actual streams, about half of it is just yapping with people and me getting easily distracted and occasionally chat bullying me. But welcome, so I hope you don't regret your follow and coming here to hang out. So I'm glad you're still here, because like I said, I finally got caught up here. And thank you for the compliment about the shorts. May I ask, like, which games you've been watching the shorts for specifically? Because I'm always curious about that type of thing. Let me go and check over on the YouTube chat real quick. Let's see, Shingo says, I saw the Book of Bill having been re-delivered again to Barnes & Noble a month ago, and there are multiple copies and even a Spanish version. Okay, good, I need to remember to do that. But part of me also thinks like, hey, my birthday's in like 3 months, I could just ask for it for my birthday, then I don't have to spend money, but then it might be sold out again, so I don't know. Opinion says happy Barth. Dermo says happy birthday. Shingo says, guys, the whole Ace Attorney plot, except for the great Ace Attorney, is owed to the fact that a confectioner got angry at a sculptor. Yeah, didn't somebody like say that last time too? That all this is just because of this case? Dermo says, it sounds like a setup to a joke. So a confectioner murdered a sculptor. Shingo said, to be fair, everything can sound like a joke if you're dark enough, like a lawyer, a kid, and an officer get into an elevator. Miguel Ramirez. Hi again. I hope did I ever get confirmation if I'm pronouncing your name right? Welcome back, Miguel. Said, what's up, y'all? Says, oh crap, is this guy? I know we're halfway through his mine chest, I think. Ish, we're doing okay. We're hanging in there. And Derma says, I guess every AA case is a joke waiting to be made. Okay, let me have a sip of water. We'll get back in this. Oh crap, we're already past the 2-hour mark. I don't know where the time is going. I'm starting to think we might not finish this case tonight, though. We were making good time. Oh, hang on, a pin message just appeared. Oh, it's written by Bone, pinned by Vero. Said, well, I've been really into Persona at the moment, so the Persona 3 Reload ones showed up a lot. Plus a couple Ace Attorney ones I watched, because I thought, hey, I remember that guy. I hope you still are enjoying the Ace Attorney ones, even if you're not like as familiar with that. We did finish Persona 3 in November. I usually keep a buffer of about like 6 months-ish between when I stream something before I post clips from that particular stream. It gets a little bit dicey because both Persona 5 and 3 took longer than 6 months to play, so there was a bit where I was like at the end and I was starting to post the early clips. But there's still a lot more to come. If you want to see more than they're on YouTube, TikTok is technically farther ahead by a couple of months. Although TikTok was also a jerk and I got hacked out of there for like a month and a half and I finally got my account back. But anyway, so I hope you continue to enjoy them because there's a lot more Persona 3 content coming to YouTube then. But thank you very much, Vera, for pinning the message. And thank you, Bone, for letting me know which game. So I would recommend maybe checking out the Metaphor Refantasio streams. Next one of those is going to be on Tuesday because that's very similar to Persona. Unless you're planning on playing it and don't want to see spoilers because we're in like the second half of the game now and story stuff do be happening. Anyway, let's play a little bit more of the game here. Thereby making your interest not gastronomical, but pharmaceutical in nature. You needed medicine, didn't you? Because that's what I'm saying, one of their kids is sick, right? In fact, didn't it say in the evidence that Gusto's son stopped coming after the semifinals? Maybe it's because he was hospitalized. You're a confectioner, Mr. Gusto. You had no professional interest in revolutionary new medicines, which suggests that your interest must have been personal.
Oh, I underestimated you. Fine, you're right. Winning the title wasn't the only reason I entered the contest. I needed one of the recipes in that book. It was for my son. He was sick, you see.
Game. All I'm asking is that what he's sick with not be incuritis. He was? Tell me more. All right, let's also say, because we got through another puzzle piece. Also, I was right about a sick son, although I can't remember which son it was. I think, because I get it mixed up whose son is which in that photograph. I think they might be like even switched around. I don't know. Tell me more.
That's none of your business. I've told you as much as you need to know.
I do think that maybe in the photo it'll be a thing where like the son's in front of the dad's, like they're switched in their orientation. We assume the one right below them is the son, but it's actually like the other way around. He looks rattled, but I can't let him off the hook. Let's find out what this mystery illness was, as long as it's not incuritis. Please. Game, I'll even let you do, like, depressing real-world illnesses like cancer or something like that. Just don't be incuritis again. Oh, feels good. I've almost gotten to the bottom of this. I can feel it. Just a few more moves. Tell me more about your son. The book necessary to get better is the name of your son's condition. Tell me more about your son. Tell me a little more about your son.
He is my pride and joy. Oh, and my biggest fan. Finally a question I want to talk about.
And you entered the contest in order to help him?
You clearly don't have children of your own. Any father would have done the same. I would have done anything to help him. Anything.
Bide my time.
He would come see me here at the contest venue too, right up through the semi-final.
Really? He didn't get in the way of your work. I think the more important question is, why did he stop? I mean, if there's a pattern, you don't ask, why is there a pattern? It's you ask why the pattern changed. If you were trying to beat Samson Tangaroa, surely you didn't have the time to look after a child.
Yeah, well, you know, you attorneys, you have your own teenage sidekick. I wanted my own teenage sidekick. That's all wrong. I wanted to do what I could for him. He said he wanted to always be the first to try my creations.
Bide my time? Because we gotta wait till he falls asleep, right?
I'm still recovering. So,
oh crap, no, I made a mistake, so I gotta ask him about that. He wasn't asleep, okay. No, more proactive. Okay, crap. We gotta start all over. Study my opponent's reactions, pick up my response accordingly. Tell me about your son. Okay, pride, joy, so we gotta do the first one, bide our time, second one we don't. Bide my time. Cut through this. Sorry, I was just trying to breathe for a second. Been talking way too much. And I would say, so he wasn't too sick to join you? You said your son was sick, Mr. Gusto, and yet he was able to come and join you for the contest?
It wasn't that kind of illness. Nothing life-threatening anyway. It was you know what, a torsion. It was a twisted danglies. Very painful.
This feels like it could be an important clue. What's the name of your son's condition? Could you tell me the name of the disease your son suffered from?
Oh, you're a real cold customer, Mr. Prosecutor. Isn't it enough that he was seriously ill? Why would you force me to tell you more?
Time to deploy my clue. But it wasn't life-threatening, was it? You've already shared with me that your son's illness wasn't life-threatening. So why are you so reluctant to share any further details?
It may not have been life-threatening, but that doesn't mean it hadn't been life-altering.
Okay, so it's not incuritis, because that is a terminal disease. Thank you, game. Maybe he's like blind or something? Maybe it's similar to the condition that Tangaroa had, and he like can't taste certain things? Let me read some more in the chat while we think about this. Let's see. Nora says, oh, why is Vocaloid $225? Wait, what is $225? Bone Glove says, yeah, you can call me Bone. My Discord description is actually just, call me Bone. Hey, that works out perfectly then. When he says to Nora, I mean, it's sort of like an instrument if you think about it. Oh, for like buying the voice thing. Queegate said, because it's an entire software, Nora. It's an entire program to wield. When he says, oh shoot, I gotta do my duo, BRB. See you when you get back, Wendy. Nora says, I know, I guess I gotta save up. Queegator says, I'm a little upset though. I have Vocaloid 4, but it's still stuck in my very old laptop since my current PC doesn't support disk slots. I'm sorry. Yeah, that sucks. I don't know. No, mine actually does. Mine has a CD-ROM drive. I just don't think I've ever used it. Bumbo says, might get Dredge and Wobble Dogs on the Switch. Both are on sale right now. Bumbo, are these real games, Dredge and Wobble Dogs? Oak says, to Nora, are you sure you want to buy Vocaloid? It's basically just a music production software, but without full software. It's just Miku and other unimportant voices. Normie says, I'm hanging in there, going through some stuff. Oh, but I'll be okay. Got my heart broken by an evil B word. I'd like to point out Normie actually did say B words. That's not even me censoring this time. But what else is new? You know what, Normie? I don't know if you're still here, but here's some attempt at encouragement. Because you know how they always say, hang on. And it sounds kind of trite, but they always say, like, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. But in a way, that's true. I mean, even if you got your heart broken, even if she was evil, if there was something in there that happened that brought you joy, even if fleeting, I guess you can be grateful for that. Because, you know, some people don't even have that much. But if nothing else, maybe it could be a learning experience. And you can learn to have better evil B-word radar next time in the future. But I'm sorry to hear that, Normie, and I do hope you're feeling better. That's the type of thing that just nothing you can do about it. Just takes time to heal and maybe distract yourself. Bone says, I've been thinking of trying these games. Oh, okay, so yes, you haven't played any of the Ace Attorney games. So, I mean, I guess this is only really spoilers for this case. Really? I recommend them. They're a lot of fun. If you like visual novel style mysteries. Oak says you can buy FL Studio for $200 and it's a full music production software. Bone says, actually, funny story. Someone did just call me Glove for a while and I was just like, I don't want to be rude, but I can't put up with this. Okay, so yes, we are definitely sticking with Bone. Queegator said, oh, that's pinned earlier, and Bone says, oh, wow, that really is a Luigi voice. I'm trying. It's my attempt at a Luigi voice because Luigi is my favorite. I've even got like so I don't know where he is. I've got like a Luigi action figure somewhere. It's him in his fire flower attire. Oak says, wait, I just checked your profile picture, and it's the bone glove from Terraria. I love Terraria, but why of all the items did you pick the bone glove? Queegator said, it doesn't help that this man is so hard to tell. Like, the game tells me to go for it, but then it's wrong. Bone says, oh, because I like it. And when I was thinking of a username, I came to mind, I thought, actually, that's a pretty cool name. I dig it. I'm awful at coming up with names. It sounds cool. Queegator said, I hate Gusto so much. Burn, burn, burn. Gusto, I hate this man. Bone says, the ultimate cookbook. I assume I missed a lot of context, huh? Yeah, so we're trying to catch this guy because he murdered a dude and framed another dude. And part of it was to get a hold of this ultimate cookbook, which, as you heard them talk about, actually just contains like a bunch of secret cures and remedies for illnesses. Which, again, the fact that people know about this, and I feel like in the real world, some type of medical association would step in and say, hey, patents be darned, you can't like hoard the cures to diseases and like, here, we'll give you the patent, you'll make the money off of it, but like, people need these cures. Queegator said, just a book that with cures for illnesses stuff. Bone says, why is it called a cookbook? Because this universe is weird, and it just likes to confuse people. Queegator says, because the owner is a chef with a very rich doctor family. Oak said, oh, for Bone Glove, I have Logan quote that's very important. No, don't read that quote! You don't need to read the quote! Let me check YouTube real quick, and then we'll get back to the game. Oh, crap, I gotta scroll up a bit. Oh, wow, there's like a bunch of chatting. There's a bunch of chatting. Let's see. Oh, crap. Shingo says, quote, so Larry Butts comes into a place. Miguel says, chaos ensues. Derma says, so Larry is all you need. Miguel says, honestly, the games are pretty unserious about their plot. It hits hard when they actually punch you in the gut with emotional scenes. See, I feel like that's kind of what Dual Destinies did. I mean, it made it a really good game, but it was an emotional roller coaster for me at the end. Shingo said, actually, that's the reason I'm not watching the ReFantazio streams. Makes sense. I don't want to spoil games for you if you plan on playing them. Derma says, same. Shingo said, trials and tribulations could be summarized to, what did she do this time? See, that's like the evil B word that Normie was talking about. Miguel said, me when I'm in a match of wits with an oddly hot confectionery, so I have to throw comically sized chess pieces. Derma said, Apollo Justice can be summarized as what on earth is Phoenix doing? Times 20. Miguel says, I love Phoenix and AJ. He acted way too cool in Apollo Justice, though. Dermot said, same, so unpredictable in the best way. Dermot says, the game as a whole was just constantly through curveball. It had me at the edge of my seat. Miguel says, yes, throw a chess piece at this grieving Father Edgeworth. Opinion says, wobble dogs. Oh, so am I the only one that hasn't heard of this? Miguel says, also, yeah, you got my name perfectly the first time. Quite impressive, Logan. Hey, nice. Miguel said, slime-sickle-coated games. Opinion says, such a weird game. I love it. One of the few games I love that I've actually played myself, Keyboard Slam. Derma says, Vocaloid is cool, but what I'd love is the Miku guitar pedal. I could solo as Miku. I mean, I'd imagine that'd be cool, like, if you play guitar. I can't play any musical instruments, though. Miguel says, the bone glove, literally the most useless expert mode item. Derma says, I mean, the anarchist cookbook isn't a baking thing, so I can't believe it being called a cookbook. That is true. Oh, over on Twitch, there's a pinned message. Pinned by Vera, written by Queen Katie. Technically, Logan, all of the knowledge in the book is now commonplace in present day. Oh, okay, oh, so it is. Okay. Then why would he need the book? If this is commonplace, then why would he need maybe what it is, maybe it's it is the recipe, quote unquote, for the medicine, so instead of buying it, you can make it, so maybe his kid needs medicine that's just way too expensive? Omari with a pin message saying to Oak, so he's more than meets the eye. Exactly. Thank you, Omari, for referencing my favorite thing. Crystal with a timestamp 147.55. I am still 35 minutes behind. Vera said, Mega and Giga are relationship goals. I don't know who they are. They are. They climb into the bosom of a large robot. Like, that's where they lock into Overlord, right in his boobies. Bone says, I'm not a big Transformers fan myself, but I love myself some hyperfixations. I still don't know if I'd really refer to it as a hyperfixation, because I'm not quite sure where the line goes between that and a lifelong obsessive hobby, but that's what collecting Transformers is for me. Oak said, Logan's love for Transformers delights me. I'm glad it delights somebody. Omari said, you guys do know that sleep is mandatory, not optional, right? Again, Omari, so good to see you. Hang on, another pin message. Oh no, that's the same. Oh no, Omari now says, so he's like, more than meets the lie. Wait, did I read that wrong? Did my brain auto correct that to more than meets the eye, even though Omari had said more than meets the lie? Wow, I'm dumb. Let's see, Vera says Hall of Fame to Omari. Omari says, oh, and hi, by the way. Moonlight says, sleep can be delayed. Vera said, not recommended, though, and a highlighted message from Shingo saying the stream and Twitch was a bit weird, in case you're wondering. So I started watching on YouTube, and there has not been issues there at all. Well, just thought you'd like to know. Well, thank you very much, Shingo. I honestly don't know. I've been postponing trying to broadcast at a lower resolution to see if that helps. But I'd hate for the VODs to be lower res. Omari said, I just came from another streamer and was streaming earlier. If anyone cares, was that person having issues too? Queen Katie said, I was cheering for you being good at the game. Am I being good at it? Vera said, welcome. Oh, that was pinned earlier. Oak said, my partner got Tomodachi Life ROM a while ago, and he made me and himself in it, and we got married in the game. That does look like a fun game. Is the character creator as good as it is in Miitopia? Queen Katie said, we should make a motto command. Vera said, laughing, sure. Oh, do it. Oak said, also, we should probably edit the who's back command to have a different emotes. Okay, go scroll down a bit. Rast says, I don't know if you even got to my chat messages. And Bone says, oh, trust me, I'm used to streamer shenanigans. Okay, good, because I'm not sure if people watch from the YouTube shorts if they are or are not. But I don't even know if what I do is what other streamers really usually do. Bone, I am not good at this. I've been doing this 4 years and I'm still not good at this. Let's play some more game, and then we'll get back to the chat. By the way, we're almost 2.5 hours into stream, which means now's a really good time to start keeping an eye out for raid suggestions, and hopefully I'll see them in about a half hour. Oh, I've been talking so much I am getting a little lightheaded. I need to remember to breathe. But first, let's save before we get back into the game. And by the way, I should say this periodically, like during streams, instead of waiting to the end. I just do want to say thank you guys all for being here. It makes me so happy to hang out with all of you guys. You all are an amazing community, and I'm blown away by all of you, and I'm very grateful for all of you spending your time here with me, so thank you.
It may not have been life-threatening, but that doesn't mean it hadn't been life-altering.
I see. That must have been very hard on both of you.
Of course it was. That is why I did everything I could to find a cure. We were desperate. He couldn't taste anything, not even his favorite dessert.
Okay, so that's different than Tangaroa, because Tangaroa could taste sweet stuff, but nothing else, right? So he wasn't able to taste salty things? Was he overweight? Did he have a taste disorder? As I understand it, the Ultimate Cookbook contains the recipe for a very particular medication, one that Mr. Tangaroa used to cure himself of his own taste disorder. It's still standing.
So he had it too?
Two, you say? So, your son has a taste disorder then? Am I correct? I mean, he just admitted he can't taste anything. What else do you call that? Although I guess that was technically one of the symptoms of some of the strains of COVID, so I don't know.
How did I let that slip?
You've been asking me to believe that you needed to win the cookbook in order to cure your son. But was that really the case?
Of course it was. What are you saying?
Are we going to say that Gusto has it? I'm saying that I'm not so sure that it's true based on everything you've told me. Okay, I don't know where this is going, so let's save, because are we going to have to... I'm just a little bit confused. Because Tangaroa's taste disorder was different, but there might be multiple taste disorders cures in that book. I don't have a clue as to how to proceed with this line of question. What? Okay, so we gotta go back. I better try another tack. Was the book necessary for him to get better? Crap, we're gonna have to go through all that again? So you needed the cookbook to cure your son?
Yeah, nowadays you can get the medication he needs anywhere. But back then, the book was our only hope. Which is why I didn't dare waste my time on fancy tea parties. I had to give my all to my work.
And what about Mr. Tangaroa's work? So is that what Queen Katie was saying, that the cures are out now? That now it's public? Surely that tea break gave you the perfect opportunity to go steal a glance at it?
And what makes you think I had the energy or time to care about what others had made?
Bide my time.
I'm still recovering, so if you... Oh, crap!
I thought he was gonna go to sleep. Crap, that's gonna hurt. I gotta, okay. We're less than halfway in our hit point meter. I know we gotta pick the thing. Was the book necessary for him to get better? Come on. And then we just gotta say the top thing. I think you made it abundantly clear how much interest you had in Mr. Tangaroa's work. What's more, if you were that determined to win the Ultimate Cookbook, I seriously doubt you would have passed up a chance to take a peek at your competitors' entries.
I had plenty of chances throughout the contest to see a sample of my rival's work, you know. But each time I did, nothing seemed to have any flavor.
So it is him that has it. There we go. So that's the info that we needed. Oh my gosh, this is a very long mind chess.
Must have been nerves or something. Certainly not the taste disorder we were just discussing.
Nothing Mr. Gusto tasted had any flavor. That seems like it could be an important clue. Okay, so now we got to do the name of your son's condition. And then we just got to pick the same choices before. Time to deploy my clue. But it wasn't life-threatening, was it? You've already shared with me your son's symptoms wasn't life-threatening. And he's gonna say it wasn't life-threatening, but it was life-altering. Hard on both of you, of course it was. Desperate, couldn't taste anything. Okay, we got like a quarter of our health bar, but I think we're close. Did he have a taste disorder? As I understand it, the Ultimate Cookbook contains a recipe for a very particular medication. Tangaroa used to cure himself.
So he had it too.
Two, you say? So your son has a taste disorder then, am I correct?
How did I let that slip?
You've been asking me to believe that you needed the cure your son. Was that really the case? And here's we're gonna deploy our clue. I'm saying that I'm not so sure that it's true based on everything you've told me. Time to deploy my clue. There we go, I think we got it. I think we finally got this. Queen Katie says to Vero, heck yeah. Vera says, who's back? Magpie says, hope I haven't missed much. I've been popping in and out because my cat demands playtime. Honestly, that is a bigger priority. If it wasn't for the fact that my cat hates how loud I get when I stream, I'd love to have her here. I'm kind of jealous of our buddy Z Diggity, that when he streams, he'll sometimes have a cat cam on and the cat snoozing next to him. But my cat doesn't like loud noises. And normally during the day, I'm very quiet, except for when I stream. Moonlight says shenanigans are the norm here. Queen Katie said, nah, you're good. We connect to some logic, and now we're facing one of my least favorite parts. This man with awful mind chess. I want to burn this man so badly. Omari said, just start paying attention. What's happening? Are they moving chess pieces with their mind? What are they, stand users? Is this a JoJo reference? It is. This is our way of telling you that Steel Ball Run anime has been confirmed. Magpie says, honestly, mostly I worry about Logan asking me a question when he gets to comments I've posted. Which is entirely possible, but you're never under any obligation to answer them, even if you do hear them. Oak said, just beat Beowulf in Logan for a tic-tac-toe. I'm so cool. Congratulations. Breathe command. Hang on. I'll breathe. Thank you, Crystal. Let's see, and there's Crystal with some emotes. Rast says yes. Crystal says happy birthday. Vera says happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Omar says happy birthday, Rast Icon. Vera said happy birthday, dear Rast Icon. Norma said happy birthday. Vera says woo. Oak said happy birthday, Rast. Quicken said happy B-Day. Magpie says happy birthday, dear Rast Icon 17. Happy birthday to you. Omari says all we have is tariffs and taxes where I live. Rast says, yeah, I got a new microphone, a chat link cable, and new chairs. So yeah, I'm setting up for finally starting streaming from computer. Nice! Oak said, Rast, whoa, can I ask what microphone it is? I'm an audio nerd. Rast says, give me a sec. Quick with the timestamp 2:04:24. I'm only 25 minutes behind. I've caught up by 10 minutes. And then Bone says, I might still be here. I'm glad that you were here for when I finally got to your comments, Bone. Oak says, add quote, are we still in the bone zone? Ras says, to answer someone's question on what microphone I got a professional recording microphone set from Zeal Sound BKD11 Pro. That's fancy. Mine is just the, I can't remember what it's called. It's an Elgato something or other. Bone says, well, I've been really into Persona at the moment. Oh, that was pinned earlier. So again, thank you for being here, Bone. Quickgator said, yeah, to be honest, we're probably looking at next stream for the Case 3 finale. Oak says, ooh. Vera said, you showed up on my For You page 3 days in a row. Nice. Sometimes I'm a little bit worried because I'll get a few videos in a row that won't do as good. And I feel like whenever that happens, TikTok says, well, nobody likes this guy anymore. So hopefully it'll keep going. Omari said, if you play Metaphor while watching his streams, you legitimately finish the game before he does. Yes, that's the other thing I need to always remind people. We got Logan time in this community where it takes me 2.5 times as long as anybody else to play a game. Here's the laughing, yeah, he takes a while. And there's a Logan time command. Bone says, I got the demo for Metaphor and want to play it, but I'm kind of bust with Persona at the moment. So, fair enough. Well, once you want to, it is there, and it's quite good. I am thoroughly loving Metaphor. It doesn't do as good, like, I guess, numbers-wise as Persona 5 or Persona 3 did, but I'm loving the game. Grass said, so well, said about setting up stream stuff. My stream later, but test out on computer. Queen Gator said, bat, bat, bat. It's a bat, quote, yay, bat, bat, bat. Queen Gator said, Wobble Dogs is very real, very fun game. I suggest playing it someday as a single stream. I need to write this down. I've never heard of it. Wobble Dogs. But the title sounds whimsical. Okay, I should probably get back to the game now because I think we are so close to being done with this mind chess. Oh, hang on. I do need to check over on YouTube though, because I'm behind on YouTube now. Because YouTube the chat is busy over there. Crap, where to leave off? Miguel says to Dermo, you don't use the anarchist cookbook for cooking? Are you even cooking with your full potential? Quigeta said, Logan, the point is that back in the day, it wasn't commonplace lol. That's why the book was a grand prize all those years ago, because it was super important. But again, I do feel like back in those days, 18 years ago, they would have, like, you know, a medical association would have had a legal thing going. It's like, people are dying because you guys are being knowledge hoarders. I don't know. Derma says, I mean, I guess you could cook with thermite, Mythbuster style. I guess it does have uses. Miguel says, couldn't you just download the Anarchist Cookbook PDF? Shingo says, 18 years ago? Really? 3 years ago, Phoenix was using Nokia. Miguel says, I love you too, Logan. Parasocially. Ah, that's the kind of love I want. Actually, I worried when, because we talked about this earlier in the stream, that Gargura announced that she's graduating on my mom's birthday, actually, is when it's going to be happening. And it like it left me like a weird funk Tuesday night and a little bit yesterday during the day. And I'm like, is it a parasocial relation? Like, I'm not in love with her or anything, but she was always like one of my biggest inspirations for trying to become a streamer. And it's almost like if the person that I try that I think of like this is what a streamer should be is no longer streaming, then it's like, I think I said on Discord to Vera that it feels like trying to navigate without a North Star. It's like, what am I even aiming toward anymore? And it's weird. Is that parasocial? Miguel said, Phoenix using Nokia was the most unbelievable thing in Dual Destinies. Like, bro, can you even buy an Android? Preposterous. Opinion says, dang, that is a long thing to redo. I love the concept of logic chess, but its execution leaves things to be desired. Derma says, hey, ... I still have a Nokia. It's great for concerts or trips where pickpocketing is a concern, but you need a phone. That's a good point. I do feel like, can you still buy, I remember watching in Breaking Bad, Gus Fring was always buying burner phones, you know, the flip ones, they'd pop out and then break them in half. Are those still a thing? Like, if you go on a trip and you're worried about theft, can you just buy a burner phone? I would say in those cases, don't call it a burner phone, because then it sounds like you're doing crimes. Shingo says, honestly, I thought you were going to joke about using it as a blunt weapon for defending yourself. Derma says that too. Miguel says, I guess you could say it'd be practical for Phoenix to use it in spirit of justice. Miguel says, Metaphor's number is suffering from it's not Persona-itis. It's like the RPG space forgot that Atlas doesn't only make Persona games. And that's true. I feel like that's also kind of what happened when I played Master Detective Archives Raincoat, because that was very much, just like Metaphor is like Persona in a different setting, Raincoat was very much like Danganronpa in a different setting. And like it had the same flavor to it. But not a lot of people, like Danganronpa, when we used to stream those games, those were some of our most successful streams we've ever had in terms of the number of people who watched them. And then Raincoat is like, well, whatever. It's not Danganronpa, doesn't have the name, you know? That's what everybody loves. That's why everything's a remake or a sequel or a reboot, because people just love names they recognize, I guess. Crystal says, Nokia is peak. Shingo says, using the logic of medicine being needed for saving lives is beautiful, but terribly unrealistic. Remember 5 years ago? And Bone just popped over on YouTube. Say, hey, look, I'm on YouTube chat too. Crystal says, post a link tree. Miguel says, it's definitely parasocial. It's a one-sided relationship. Is that what parasocial? I guess that's kind of what it is, yeah. I mean, but, okay, in that case, are there healthy and unhealthy ones? Crystal with a retracted message. Derma said, hi, Bone. Can we now call this the Bone Zone? Miguel said, oh, I guess, yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, Rain Code. That's one of many games I want to make a compilation of my clips and post on YouTube. Let me read, because I was away from Twitch chat for so long, let me read a couple comments here, then we'll get back in the game. Oak said to Queen Katie, this is making me miss my KTA emote so bad. Queen Katie said, I think I'm making a follow me emote, just don't know who and what. Omari says, they wouldn't. Bone says, I played Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's basically just Sonic Ace Attorney and really liked it. And I saw a playthrough of the first 3 games and thought, man, this actually looks pretty good. I actually have some shorts. I don't think I posted all the shorts for Murder of the Sonic Hedgehog onto YouTube, because some of them were kind of long, and that was before, I was posting them before YouTube expanded the length of shorts up to 3 minutes. But there's a bunch of them over on TikTok. You'd have to scroll quite a ways to get to them. But yeah, we played Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. It was fun. Queen Katie said, technically, Logan, all of the knowledge of the book is now commonplace in the present day. And Vera said, ooh, Logan played that. And Queen Katie with a raid suggestion. Let me copy this down, because we are going to need those, relatively soonish. We still have a little bit of time. But thank you very much, Queen Katie. And Oak said, Logan isn't a real robo. He's lying to you. Gasp. Queen Katie said to Vera, could you please pin my message about the book? Thank you. Omari said, Oak, no, so he's more than meets the lie. Wow, I gotta be close to catching up, so I should definitely play some game. Taste disorders are difficult to live with. It isn't easy not being able to enjoy your food. Also, wouldn't, losing the sense of taste, would that affect your sense of smell as well? I remember hearing somebody talking about, back during the COVID lockdowns, somebody who lost the sense of taste, saying that he wasn't really able to smell things either. And I feel like that's dangerous. If there's a gas leak or something, you ought to be able to smell it. You should know. After all, you just told me you'd experienced something like that during the contest. You said that nothing you sampled had any flavor. Those were your words, correct? Which would seem to suggest that you were suffering from a taste disorder. So he's not doing it for his kid? I mean, I guess finding a cure for yourself is still something understandable, but it's not quite as noble. A confectioner without a sense of taste. Not exactly ideal. Are you sure it wasn't actually your own condition you were seeking a cure for, Mr. Gusto?
I've had enough of your speculations. I managed just fine in the contest. Made all of my own entries, no problems.
Bide my time. Oh, no, I probably should have said you worked with Mr. Frost, because that corrects it. Oh, dang it, do I have to go all the way back? No, I don't think I have to go all the way back. Okay. Crap. Oh, I'm almost out of hit points. Okay. Oh, crap! What was the name of your son's condition? We're gonna die. Both life-threatening, was it? Wait, no, crap, I was supposed to buy my time! Wait, no, I got it right. Crap. I have no hit points. I'm gonna die. When was the last time I saved? I see. That must have been very hard on both of you. Of course it was. It was I didn't do everything. I got out of cure. We're desperate. He couldn't taste anything. Crap. Taste disorder. Oh, we're gonna die. Okay. So your son has taste disorder, am I correct? Okay. Come on. Blow my clue. I'm dying. I am so dying. Okay. So we don't bide our time on this. Correction without a hesitation. Come on. Please blow up his queen this time. Oh no! It was right there. I just had to click down. I hate that it keeps like bumping to the very bottom of the, okay.
I think it's about time we took a break from all this questioning, don't you?
Oh, that's all I lose? I lose a tiny hit point? Curses! I thought I'd die. I just got a little blip. I can't give up now. I have to keep pushing. All right. Once more. Onto the breach. I thought it was into the breach. Mine chest. Do we have to start over? I'm gonna go back to my last save. We're gonna be doing a lot of keyboard slamming. Actually, what I'm also going to do, just in case I can't remember how I got there, I'm going to save a new slot over here, and then I'm going to load the previous one, and we might just take the hit point loss. But I'm assuming we're having to start all the way over with this section. Oh boy! So I've officially died at mine chess. Okay, we can do this. So we're starting all the way over, yeah? Oh, no, because we're loading. I'm not saying, based on everything you told me, don't have a clue as to how to proceed with this line of questioning. Better try another tack. Book necessary for him to get better. And just keep going to this. But you cared about Mr. Kangaroo's work. Yeah, we got that, and that doesn't do anything there, but that's where he admits that he wasn't able to taste anything. Must have been nerves or something. Nothing Mr. Gusto had any flavor. Important clue. Name of your son's condition. Okay, now we at least have plenty of health, so we should be fine. Time to deploy my clue. Wasn't life-threatening. It was just life-altering. And that's fine if you alter someone's life as long as you're not threatening it, right? We were desperate, couldn't taste anything. Taste disorder. Well, we got it this time. We've got to have it this time. I've certainly got enough hit points. How can I let that slip? You've been asking me to believe that you needed the cookbook, blah, blah, blah. Was it really the case? What are you saying? I'm saying that I'm not so sure based on everything you told me. Time to deploy my clue. You were sick yourself, weren't you? Ha-ha! And sorry, I'm just like hammering the keyboard. We'll get back to more entertaining reading of lines in a moment. So was him. There we go, but you're working with Mr. Frost. We got it. I think this is what I was trying to get to before, because he said, yes, here we go. Thank you, Toilet Duck. I will save in a moment, but I don't know if this is right or not for sure. So I'll wait just a moment, but I will save soon. I promise. Thank you, Toilet Duck. Sorry, but I'm afraid you're contradicting your own testimony. You already admitted that you and Mr. Frost had worked together during the contest. It's too late to claim you did it all on your own. Ha-ha! We got it! So before, if I had just pressed down and spacebar like a half a second sooner, I would have had it and I wouldn't have died. I was so close. You would have us believe that you are a man of principle, a dedicated student of the confectioner's art. Yet you abandoned those principles and conspired with Mr. Frost to rig the contest. All so you could cure your own taste disorder.
Oh. You got me, Mr. Prosecutor. As you said, my sense of taste was shot. My son's was fine.
And oh, that's why he brought his son with him. Not because it was like a make-a-wish, oh, you're dying, kid, come with me. The son was his taste tester. And okay, yeah, so that's why he would have him taste the stuff for him so he'd know if it was good.
I'd kept it hidden for so long, 18 years, and nobody knew.
Sadly, you can lie to others, but you can't lie to me. Both Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost entered the contest hoping to obtain the ultimate cookbook for the medicine that would cure Mr. Gusto's disorder and the money it would bring for Mr. Frost. Well, I mean, yeah, it sounds like why would you betray each other? Because Gusto just used the medicine, then he's fine, he's cured. You go sell it. All right, good. We both got what we wanted. We're buds. Thus, an uneasy alliance was forged. And that, I believe... Oh, is checkmate. I mean, technically not. I just captured your queen. You know what? How about this? And that, I believe, is how the cookie crumbles. For a cookie is a confectionery and often crumbles. Did that sound cool? My chest complete! Oh, thank goodness. We gotta save. We gotta save. Save. Oh my gosh. Save. Ah! We're finally past that. And we've only got like 15 minutes till the 3-hour mark.
Oh, yeah. I'll admit it. You're good. I never told anybody any of this, but you figured it out anyway. It's true. 18 years ago, I developed a...
Did we determine if that's a real disease or if that's something they made up for the game? Juzia. Okay, yeah, that is a real thing. So he developed Juzia. Let me read some more comments in the chat, though. Let's see. Oak says to Amari, you're a genius. We need to give you so many awards. Vera said, Oak says to Vero, you need to pin that message from Omari. Normie said, honestly, it just hurts for a little bit because I got my trust broken. But if someone's going to do that to me, then I'm better off without them. I'm not going to fret over a lost cause, so I'll be fine in a few days. I doubt I'll do an online relationship anymore, haha. And that's the thing, too. I do remember there was one relationship I was in some time ago that, it's tough when you're in the middle of it to realize when someone is being, let's just say emotionally manipulative to you. And because that when we broke up, it threw me for a loop, but at the same time, really, when I was able to step back and look at it, I realized that I was so much better off out of that relationship. So it's good that you're able to have that perspective, Normie, even though it will still hurt. Beer said, Oak Hall of Fame. Quigita said, Logan, the point is that back in the day, it wasn't commonplace law. Oak said, Logan eats the guy robots in disguise. Bubba says, no, that was 3DS game, and the Mii Maker on 3DS wasn't that detailed. Omari said, did you read the Archie comics for the Transformer? I know them, but I've never seen any Archie comic past Sonic. Well, Archie has never had the Transformers license. They have had the Ninja Turtles license, but originally it was Marvel Comics. Then a company called Dreamwave briefly had it before they imploded. Then IDW got it, and currently Skybound from Image has the Transformers license. However, Transformers has crossed over with other stuff, but I don't know if they've ever actually crossed over with Archie comics things. Quingata said, nah, you're amazing! Bone says, no one I watch is good at streaming. Some don't even start the game until a couple of hours in. Okay, that weirds me out sometimes because some of the streamers I watch, they do that as well. They'll spend like 20 to 30 minutes just like chilling and talking with chat, and then they go into the game. Whereas like whenever I start a stream, I'm like, I need to get in this game as soon as possible because what if people are looking for this game and they're like, oh, this guy's playing Ace Attorney or something. I'm going to check it out. Click. What? He's just yakking. Well, I wanted to see Ace Attorney. So I'm always like in the back of my head frantic, like I need to start the game. Oak with a Discord command says, oh, I didn't know of Bonesaw, but we have a Discord if you want to join. Quigata said, yeah, the Discord is so fun. Viewer says, according to Google, hyperfixation is defined, by definition, is a complete obsession with or absorption into a particular task. The task could be a hobby, a TV show, a subject of interest, or something else. People who hyperfixate may tune out the world around them and ignore/forget about important responsibilities. To better understand the hyperfixation, they basically find it hard to break from the spell when they're absorbed in it, so shrug. Okay, so I wouldn't call what I have a hyperfixation then by that definition. Because, I mean, I still am able to do my day-to-day responsibilities. It's just a really passionate hobby I have. Omari said, did you say Gusto? Like the guy from Ratatouille? This whole game is Ratatouille stuff. In the last case, our client was being literally ratatouilled by a monkey tugging his hair. So yes, Vera said his chat Pearly says, oh, there we go. Some stuff from one of Vero's cats. And Vera says, hi. Omari said, good morning. Look at the time. Oak says to Omari, to be fair, Logan is 2 hours behind Easter, and so it's like 10 minutes for him. Omari said, Oak, that means I'm in the future. Call me Silver the Hedgehog. But if he wasn't lame. Oak said, I'm in the future too. Omari with a hydrate command. I will do that right now. I'll also check YouTube because I'm sure I'm getting behind there. And I once again have to kind of scroll up in YouTube to find where I'm at. YouTube, unfortunately, because I catch up a lot, it like scrolls without me. Oh, thank you, Toilet Duck. I think I did say, but I can't totally remember if I did. I think I did. Let's save again, just to be sure. Thank you, Toilet Duck. I'm a good trained Pavlovian dog. Crystal said, it a typo, keyboard slam. Shingo said, I actually streamed and posted my whole playthrough of the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Nice. Is it like over on your channel or on your YouTube? Derma says, I spoiled myself on the Danganronpa series, so Raincoat was the first of that type of game I experienced fresh. And gosh, that soundtrack was good. Oh yeah, it's got some good music. I hope 100 Line Defense Academy, whatever it's called, will be that good. Miguel says, the only thing I remember from Murder the Sonic the Hedgehog is the what bit in the Snapcube peeps keep doing it, and it hit me every time. I remember a few things. I remember the bit about checking all the trash cans. I remember the bit where we got addicted to slot machines. I remember that was the very first duty bit that we really did. I still need to watch those Snapcube playthroughs. Everybody's always quoting the one about like Dr. Robotnik peeing on the moon. Miguel says to Dermo, it's very different from Danganronpa? That's neat. It's in my backlog for a while now. My nose feels like it's running for some reason. Derma says, I feel like you could do very well in confectionery without taste, especially if you already could cook. I mean, there are deaf composers, so I don't see why it wouldn't work. I think it makes sense, like, if you know the recipe well, yeah. I mean, maybe it's just a challenge for some people. I'm personally an awful cook, so I can't comment, but there is some logic to what you're saying. Derma says, it's fairly different from Danganronpa, but it has the same feel. I don't know how else to describe it. Miguel said, Derma, you mean Beethoven? Wasn't he trained to death as a child? Derma said, Beethoven was one. Many composers actually went deaf or mad. Miguel says, but they really did make more music thereafter? Shingo said, it's real. Derma says, yes, they did. I did a uni project on disabilities in music, and yeah, there are a lot of deaf musicians. Miguel says, dang, music lore is insane. Derma said, music is wild. There's also guitarists who are missing fingers. That's how metal was created. Wasn't that the whole thing with like the drummer in Def Leppard only has one arm or something like that? Miguel said, man, humans are so fascinating. Shingo says, yes, my playthrough was here on YouTube then. I should check out some of that sometime. Vero over on Twitch says, kitty kneading my thigh, it hurts, but it's full of blood. Oh, it's adorable. I wish my cat would do that, but she likes to be near me, but she's not like a cuddler. She likes to be right in close proximity, but have just like a tiny bit of space. Kind of the opposite of my previous cat. Crystal said, my cats are just chilling on the floor. One of them is lying on my foot, so I can't move. Omar said, wait, case 3. How many cases are in this game? I assume 5 or 6? Queen Gator says 5. Vera said 5, I think. Crystal says many. Vera said, I'm so good. Oak said, that's actually not as many as I was expecting. We don't feel halfway through this game. We're like halfway through both this and Metaphor, I think. Amari said to Queen Katie, dang, so he's gonna stream for 50 parts? Probably. Bubba says, I don't know if it was answered, but Dredge is a fishing horror game. Oh, that name, I like it. The name seems fitting. Vera said, I don't think it's parasocial. Maybe it's like parasocial, but not unhealthily so. I don't know. Vera said, you can follow a streamer and be in a funk when they're quitting. Quika said, sometimes it hurts. Omari says, I know a teacher that used a flip phone instead of a smartphone. Quika said, I wish I could get my hands on a flip phone. It was weirdly one of my childhood dreams. Vera said, my uncle doesn't believe in modern phones, so he still has one of those Nokia phones. Hang on. Where you click a button continuously to reach the letter you want when you text. Well, here's the thing, like, you don't even really need to do that. Like, they had the technology where, like, you could just press it once and it'd be able to figure out more or less based on context what words you were doing, but some people still insist on doing that. It's like the caveman way of doing it. Moonlight says, I miss my old Nokia brick of a phone. Thing was indestructible. Omar says to Vero, he can still see photos on it, so not Nokia old. And there's Vera with the, oh, here we go. By definition, parasocial relationships are one-sided emotional bonds where an individual feels a connection or attachment to a media figure, such as a celebrity, influencer, or fictional character, despite having no correct two-way interaction with them. These relationships often form through repeated exposure to a personality in media. Example, TVs, music, and social media, where the individual feels they know the figure personally, even though the figure remains unaware of their existence. Okay. I have never felt with any streamers I watch or celebrities I admire that they know me. But I mean, the first part, like, yeah, like my hero is Conan O'Brien. I love Conan. He's fantastic, but I don't think he knows. I mean, I felt really bad a while ago, early in, when was it? How many months ago was it? Like, both of his parents died within like a few days of each other. And it was like, I felt really sad because I love Conan, but I don't think he knows me. Bomo says, parasocial relations are one-sided relationship with someone you don't know personally. It can be healthy, I think, as long as you acknowledge they don't know you and you aren't involved in most of their life. Yeah, so that's where I'm at then. Vera said, I don't even know, to be honest. I just see him from time to time texting on it. Bomo says, taste and smell are quite linked, correct. Well, that's why they say, like, if you don't like the taste of something, you're supposed to pinch your nose and plug it off so you can't, and it, like, inhibits the flavor a bit because part of the taste sensation you experience is actually from the aroma, right? Crystal says, yep, parasocial can definitely be healthy if you aren't like those type of parasocial fans. Queen Katie said, fun fact about me, I have the weirdest sense of smell. I can smell car gas and coffee, but can't smell flowers and dog poop. That's very selective because all of those are very distinct smells. Bumbo says, mouse. Magpie says, my mom seems to have lost most of her sense of smell. I'm the one who usually sniffs around the mold or weird smells in the fridge, lol. But otherwise, not usually an issue, I think. My mom is getting a bit older, and so she's starting to have issues with her eyesight and hearing, but not smell, thank goodness. Oak said, fun fact about me, I can barely smell at all. Vera said, dang, he's so dead, he almost had it. Queen Katie said, guys, let's do a small salute for our man. Bone says, I can't remember, did you say something about raid suggestions? Yes, because we're less than 5 minutes away from the 3-hour mark. So now's a great time if anybody has raid suggestions. We do try to prioritize people who have a low number of viewers, who are not set to follower only or subscriber only, and whom we have not raided recently. But yeah, so we'll usually get like a half a dozen or so and then pick someone toward the end of the stream. Bumbo says, oh noes! Oak said to Queen Katie, I will not give him a salute, he doesn't deserve it. Vera said, yep, around this time we give him raid suggestions. Bone says, is there any rules on family friendliness? I don't think we have. I mean, I guess we probably ought to check for stuff that's age appropriate because we do have a couple of people in our community who are under 18. Says, because I know someone who's a pretty cool guy who's live right now, but he can't go one sentence without dropping some F-bombs. Hang on, I gotta breathe again. All this stop talking, and like my brain tries to remind me that I need oxygen. I'm gonna read a couple more comments here, then I'll read some more on YouTube because I gotta get caught up. Oak said, yeah, we give raid suggestions to try to find streamers that have the fewest number of watchers to raid. Also, it's fine, they don't really have to be family friendly, I don't think. Yeah, they don't have to be. I mean, maybe I should be better about that though. Omari says to Bone, I don't think that's a problem. He doesn't ban us if we curse in chat. It'd be funny if he did though. Well, and some of the games we played, like the Persona games, they sometimes say those F words. Let me take a look over on YouTube then, real quick. Durma says, yep, one-armed drummers are also a thing. Miguel said, baking is effing insane though. Just like whipping up meringue is a lot of work that's literally just beating eggs really fast, but it's amazing what it does. Miguel says, for the Gargura fans, just remember, grief is the price we pay for loving someone. And maybe that's the perspective I should have, but it was just like, she was my first really favorite streamer that I had. It's like, got me interested in doing streaming, and I was like, the person I looked up to is gonna be gone. Hopefully she'll be back in her old persona, but she's made enough money she could easily retire. Toshi Chi said this has got to be the best third case in the AA series. I am enjoying it. I have to think what the other third cases are. I'd have to like stop and remember. Was Turnabout Samurai a third case? Because that's where I met my beloved Penny Nichols. What was the third case in Dual Destinies? But how you doing, Toshi Chi? Welcome, welcome. Derma says, personally, the third case of the Great Ace Attorney 1 is my pick, but this case is a close second. Well, don't say what that is yet, because I haven't played the Great Ace Attorney yet, and I do want to play that once we're done with this game. Miguel says, Toshi Chi, 100% agree. This and the Great Ace Attorney, third case, I have no problems with. Shingo said, I think the other third case that is close to being one of the best is the Right of Turnabout. Toshi Chi says, I mean, we got Gregory Edgeworth. Dermo says, I have a soft spot for the third case in the, the third case in the first case of the original game. Sorry, I gotta breathe. I'm talking way too much. Purely because that was a case which really showed me why the series is great. Miguel says, also, why was the chat turned off in the last stream? Wait, what? Wait, was the chat turned off in the last stream, like on YouTube? Was it? If so, that was on accident. I am so sorry then. Derma says, Turnabout Academy. Quike said the Academy case was DD's third case. Again, that was a fun case. Frustrating but fun. Derma said, typo, sorry. Quike said, Justice for All, third case was the circus case. Oh, no. I mean, that had some fun characters. I loved Mo the Clown, but that whole bit with like the statue and the cape. Oh no, I hated that. Shingo said, I'm a super fan, so I can list them. Quinket said, the Trials and Tribulation third case is the cafe one. Well, that had El Tigre Furio, right? But it also had that awful Maid Cafe. Back over on Twitch, Nora said, I noticed recently that I struggle with saying the word girlfriend. Is it so hard to pronounce? How do you mispronounce it? Do you say Goyle-friend? Bone says, well then, I'm quite biased for a certain, pronounced Forgotten. Oh. I'm not sure what that is, but okay. Oak said, yeah. Oh, or is that, Oak said, yeah, cursing is okay as long as, or is that the raid suggestion person? That's probably the raid, that's what it was. Took me a second to realize it was. Okay, so let me copy that over into my text file here for raid suggestions. Thank you very much, Bone. In fact, I should probably be organizing these a little bit better because we are like on the cusp of the 3-hour mark and I'm gonna need to check out these things pretty soon. Oak said, yeah, cursing is okay as long as you aren't being rude. Logan himself just doesn't curse. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't swear. I keep the language clean. But like I don't like try to tell anybody else what they're allowed to say or do. So don't feel like you aren't allowed to just on my behalf. Oak said to Nora, I just think it's because you're a freak. Girlfriend isn't a hard to pronounce for me. Quick get to the timestamp 2:45:15. I'm 15 minutes behind. We're past the 3-hour mark. I gotta catch up. Normie says, I like to do the cha-cha. Queen Katie says, now you see why I want to burn Gusto to the ground. I had so many save states for this mine chest, but we did it! Omari says, originally I thought Logan was making Edgeworth too pretentious sounding, but watching the gameplay, he didn't make him enough pretentious sounding. Oh yeah, there's not enough. Here's the thing though about Edgeworth. When he gets smug, he at least feels like he's deserved it. Whenever Phoenix Wright gets smug, it's like, no, Phoenix, you're not good at your job. Apollo also, I'm more okay with his smug face. Oak says, fun fact about the word checkmate. It comes from the Persian phrase, Shah Mat, which means the king is helpless. Oh, that is interesting. And so, that is cool. Omar says, dang, I meant IDW. It's because Sonic also has IDW comics, so I got them both linked in the wrong way. No worries, I read pretty much all of IDW's first continuity. And in fact, I'm really good friends with like a few of the people who worked on the IDW comics. Then they rebooted their continuity, and their reboot for the second time around at IDW just didn't do it for me. There were like a couple of moments were fun, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. But yes, I am quite familiar with the IDW comics, and I've been getting Vero to read them as well. Normie says, I think some streamers like to chat with the community at the start before they play games because they don't read every comment like you do. Okay, so hopefully this like makes up for it then. Oh, and Vero with multiple raid suggestions. Let me copy all these over. So we'll be checking out these in a bit. Thank you very much, Vero, for these raid suggestions. I appreciate it. I'm assuming that Crystal may have had to take off and attend a class or something, because Crystal is usually our raid suggestion MVP, but Crystal also has classes these days. Although, Crystal, I don't know if you're here and you can hear me. Aren't you supposed to be like reaching the end of your semester soon? Or am I thinking of somebody else who was talking about like finals being being here. Anyway, I gotta get caught up to chat. Nora says to Oak it's too hard to pronounce. Vera says girlfriend. Oh, there's Krista with the raid suggestions. Oh, we've got so many to choose from. I gotta copy all of these over as well. Thank you very much, Crystal. So Crystal is here, still kicking butt and taking names, like literally taking names of like people's channels for us to do raid suggestions. Vera says, I remember ranting about that too once on Discord. Oak says, the Logan April Fool stream, if it were a song, more than meets the eye. Logan in disguise. Well, is it Logan in disguise, or was it technically the opposite of that? I'm still so happy that you guys all like played along with that one as well. I wish I'd had as much time to put into that as I did that one Valentine stream that we did. But both of those I feel like were much more ambitious than most of my streams, so I'm glad they went well. And it was a lot of fun, like having all you guys do all that stuff. Oh, hang on. Looks like one of the raid suggestions Crystal has, I think I might have spelled wrong, so I'll double check that in a minute. Omari said, speaking of Sonic the Hedgehog, I was playing Team Sonic Racing today, and that story mode is absolutely a pain on hard. Oak said, oh yeah, I saw on TikTok earlier that Logan finally posted the first clip that I recognized from being in stream. He posted the Maya channeling Trust in Me clip, and that was the first full stream I went to, I think. It was fun stuff. I was not prepared for the visual of Trust in Me ripping that kimono off. And the timing was so perfect because right after he does that, I'm like, bah! You just hear Vero coming to the TTS going, like, chat, hear me out. Omari says it pronounced ho-ro-ro, not hooray. Wait. Are we talking about the word whore? Because that looks like you're saying the word whore. I don't know. Moonlight says, one of my cats is laying on my chest. My shadow kitty is a cuddle bug. Okay, one of the most difficult or like stressful, I would say, types of cats was my half-sister out in California, whom I usually stay with whenever I head out there to go to like San Diego Comic-Con. I couldn't afford to go last year, sadly, but I usually do. She's a cat lady. She's got lots of cats. One of her cats, who sadly passed recently because he got really old, like when I'd be sleeping there, in the morning time, he'd like, or at nighttime sometimes, he'd like come running in, jump on the bed like he wants to be petted, like meow, 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 like that. And then reach over and like as soon as I start petting him, he takes one step away just out of reach and like flops over to be petted. And then I'll get up and shift over, start reaching. He's enjoying being petted, but then he gets up and moves another step away and flops over to be petted. He just like always wants to be petted, but also wants to be out of reach. It's so frustrating. Normie said Conan is great. The Hot Ones episode with him is hilarious. I still haven't watched that. I need to. I always listen to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, his podcast, whenever I'm at the gym. It's wonderful. He's joked multiple times that you shouldn't listen to it when you're at the gym, but I do. Omari said, how far can slow mode go? Quinketta said, don't jinx or tempt it. Shingo says, I have a suggestion. All right, I'll copy that one down as well. So we got lots of raid suggestions. We'll be checking all these out very soon. So thank you very much, Shingo. Vera said, okay, chat, y'all are going to be on timeout till he catches up. I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Vera said, one last raid suggestion. Okay, so there we go. So we got lots of them. We've got so many raid suggestions. It's actually probably going to take a while just to like look through all these in a few minutes. There's some emotes. Oak says, I'd quote, I keep the language clean, but. Vera said, you're free, he's almost caught up. I'd quote, there we go. Shingo said, my suggestion, stop streaming. Oh, I'm sorry. Crystal says, finals for me is next month. Oh, I think it was, I think it was somebody else then that was saying that about finals. Nora says, yes. Bone says, new suggestion because my other is signing off. Okay, let me copy this one down as well. There's so many of these. So many of these. Like all my little tabs with all their channels are open are having to like squish and get very narrow. Crystal says, oof. And there we go, the correct spelling of the one that was typed wrong from Crystal. Let me copy that down as well. By the way, if you're lurking and you're sticking around while I'm just doing this mad dash to catch up to chat, I appreciate you. And don't worry, YouTube, I'll get back to you in a minute. Vera said, it was me who said, hear me out, laughing. I don't remember. I think it was. Maybe I'm wrong. Crystal said, horse. Nora said, Logan didn't see my raid suggestion. Wait, I thought I did. Did I not copy it down? Can you paste it again? Quinketta said, thank you for the very burn the mind chest stream. Oak said, thank you for the very always right stream. Made me smile. Nora said, either he didn't see it or he didn't read it out loud. In case he didn't see it, it is that. Oh, yes, I saw it. I just these days don't like say the raid name out loud in case for privacy reason they don't want to like say it in the VOD or something like that. But there, 3 hours, 7 minutes and some odd seconds. I caught up to chat for the first time of the night. Yeah. Except not on YouTube. I need to catch up on YouTube now. And there's so much on YouTube also. Let's see. Queen Katie said, finally, here's a list of all the third cases. So let me scroll back up for these. Quick said Justice for All, third case was Circus 1. Shingo said I'm a super fan, so I can list them. Quick said Trials Tribulation, third case Cafe 1. Finally, Spirited Justice, third case Trust in Me. Quick said Forgot About Apollo Justice, Music Siren. Shingo said Turnabout Samurai in AA1, Turnabout Big Top AA2, Turnabout Recipe for Turnabout Recipe for Turnabout AA3, Turnabout Serenade in 4, Academy in 5, Right in 6. And Omari over on YouTube said Queen Katie, comment on here is cheating. Come suffer on Twitch with us. Queen Katie said the first investigations game, third case was the kidnapping one with the Badgers. Bone said my raid suggestion is signing off now. Actually, I'm sorry. Shingo said the Badgers case happened. It was not a nightmare. I remember Ugly Badger and a sword. Wasn't that the one with you know who is the lady mascot? Or no, that was toward the end. I can't remember anymore. Derma said 1 grade AA 2 this case. Oh, it's the ranking. A1, darn it, with the way it's all written, I can't, my brain can't say all that, the numbers and letters out loud, but I like that you have the ranking. Shingo said, Derma, what happened of 6? Derma said, okay, investigations carry the introduction of Lang and K, my favorite sidekick. Right, 6 would be between 5 and 6, it's a decent case. Shingo said that ending though, Derma said, it's a great moment. Said, gosh, I love the series, and now I'm getting behind on Twitch again. It's a horrible, vicious cycle. Norman said, have a good night, Logan. Vera said, thank you for the very Who's Back stream. Quick said, see y'all next time for a wait. Tomorrow skipped, then maybe the finale case 3. Yes, before people start leaving and before Raiders jump ship, we normally would stream tomorrow. But tomorrow is canceled because I have a work-related thing in the evening. So no metaphor stream tomorrow. We'll go into more detail on this in just a minute here. Oak said, good night, everyone. Guess who's back? Losers. Omari said, no limit anymore. Vera said, yup, he caught up. Omari said, time to go full power. Crystal says, oh no. Crystal says, thank you for the very smug Miles stream. Omari said, Eggman versus Bowser. Who would win? Oh, I don't know, actually. I don't know Robotnik's powers, really. Vera says, Bowser. Oak says, me. Omari said, both of you are wrong. Oak said, no, I win. And Omari said, Robotnik solos. Okay, so we're doing Robotnik is different than Eggman thing. Crystal said, no, I'd win. I see what you did there, Crystal. Nora said, good night, everyone. Oak says, yes. Atlantic said, good night, everyone. There's raid messages. Magpie says, grats, Logan. Good night. Oak said, good night. Vera said, timeout. Moonlight said, night, y'all. Nora says, night, y'all. Love y'all. Vera says, he will never catch up with y'all. Talk that much. Bone says, I mean, he made that station at the start of Unleashed that blew up the Earth. Kind of, sort of, not really. Okay. I'm going to check on all these raid suggestions now. So what I'm going to do while that's happening, I'm going to give you guys, especially for any lurkers out there, the rundown on our community. First, our schedule. We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, currently alternated between this game, Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit, and Metaphor Refantasio. Now, that means normally we'd stream Metaphor tomorrow. As I said, it's canceled, so the next Metaphor stream will be Tuesday. However, Sunday, even though that is going to be Easter, we are going to be streaming on Sunday. We're going to check out just more Ace Attorneys. So we're going to pick up where we're leaving off here. If plans change and if I end up having like Easter family stuff, I will post an update on Discord and you guys will know that. But yeah, so let me check out these raid suggestions and see if we can pick someone who has a lower number of viewers. There's like a lot of them who have like 2 viewers. Let's see if we can pick one of those. We got oh, that one just went offline actually. So, no, that one's got like, sorry, it's taking me just a minute. This one, okay, I gotta choose between these two here. This one here, some people have been mentioning Sonic the Hedgehog, so we do technically have someone who's streaming a Sonic type of a game. So let's go ahead and do that one. There we go. Before I type that in, however, let me cross-post this over onto YouTube. Here is my link tree that has a Discord invite, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all the good stuff. Feel free to check that out. And I'll read the last couple of comments and we'll get the raid suggestion going here. Type that in, raid this person. And there's our raid messages. They've already been typed down. You can copy those over to your clipboard, so we'll be able to do that in a minute. And there we go. Yes, Magpie was saying, grats, Logan, good night. Oak says, good night. Here's timeout. Oh, I read that. Yeah, Crystal says, good night, chat. Oak says booby. Omari said goodnight, Logo. Nora said didn't even realize I'm subless here. Good night, everyone. Love y'all. And there's the schedule and everything like that. Bone says, well, have a good night. Yes, thank you again for the follow, Bone, and for hanging out with us. Oak of the Heart. Vera said good night, chat. Oak says, love y'all. Let's see. Over on YouTube, Shingo says, I'll make it so that you have not caught up by posting once more. Mwahaha. Said, okay, now you caught up. Derma says, it is a Sisyphean, it's Sisyphus, the guy who pushes the boulder up the hill, right? Sisyphean task, but one must imagine Logan happy. And Derma said, good night, all. Thank you again for hanging out with me. As I said before, I love and appreciate you all. Have a good Friday. I'll give you a reminder on Discord, there's no stream tomorrow. Enjoy your Friday, enjoy your Saturday. For those who celebrate Easter, have an amazing Easter morning. We'll see you Easter evening, picking up right here where we're leaving off. And then we're on the road to Altabury in Metaphor Refantasio. It's going to be great stuff. You guys are awesome. I know we're very yappy tonight, but it makes me really happy. I love talking with you guys. I love all the chatting. Thank you for being an amazing community. I love you all. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy the raid. See you on Sunday. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. And for those watching the VOD or over on YouTube, oh, in fact, Amori's saying night again over there. Good night as well.